the thing.
We've done the thing.
Do
We're
the
live on
thing.
the internet.
Because my normal workstation space has been consumed with secret crafting. So all of the space I'd
Mm.
have like right here to put things to work on doesn't exist.
I just
Doesn't
realized
exist.
there's like 3 pixels of secret crafting visible in my background.
Uh-oh. Well, way to draw attention to it now that we're live.
Well, I'm not gonna fix it now, and I'm not gonna tell you which 3 pixels it is, so have fun figuring out which 3 pixels.
I'm gonna do that thing that people do when they're on the internet. They take a picture on their phone so that Diana can see exactly where the cat is.
Oh, I'm also 100% taking a picture of this live stream setup because it's something. Just like
Hey guys, you ready for some WIP sprints? We're doing that social media influencer person thing where we take photos of everything. Tiny Dictator, can you pay attention to Mommy and her camera, please? Sure, when I don't want you to pay attention. Or when I
absolutely.
want you to pay attention. Hey,
Hello,
back to the
everybody in
face.
chat. Asa's here and has some
Poke.
raspberry tea, raspberry lemonade, and several whips, both knitting and weaving
What?
in ends.
What?
Also wants to see your cat picture on Instagram.
I'm trying to get a good one. She won't look at me.
Uh, Jude's
Daedra.
in chat. Tracy's here. Knitting Purple is here.
Daedra. Listen, I uploaded it. She made you guys disappear.
Well, we can still see you, so you're still here.
I'm still here. My cat is just something else today. Okay, I've taken some photos. We'll see if any of those turn out. Now I need to return the. I know, because you're gonna go try to bite me when I go to reach for it, because it's right by your belly, but you're laying on the mouse. Do you understand the conundrum here? I wouldn't have to reach for your belly, which you don't like. Cats will teach you consent faster than any other species on the planet. Oh, hey, look, I got returned.
Oh, Liz is in chat.
Because it's very
Her first
important
whip
for a
sprint is eating
cat.
lunch.
You know what? I 100% approve that whip sprint. That's what I do. 100% approve. The bottom one that's full screen? It is. Look
Jude's
at that.
sorting out the kitchen to get pizza for tea made, so we'll pick up a project
Ooh.
once food created. Excellent plan.
Guys, I've got to give Diana permission to share screens.
Ooh.
Here
Asa
you
says, I
go.
pulled a muscle behind my knee yesterday and asks, how are your muscles today?
Listen, we were just discussing that before we went live. I pulled the lift chest muscle, which is fine. Everybody pulls muscles. I'm known for having back problems. Like I've had back problems for years. They're always pulled muscles or like things get a little out of line, and a lot of it is because of the things on the front of me. They cause me grief. It's fine. I have been isolating it, so my front feels great. Now I'm super worried because when you isolate one muscle group, it means you put more stress on everything else, and your core is connected.
Mm-hmm.
And I have back problems consistently. It's one of the reasons why I tend to harp on people about sitting up straight. It's because I know how much it hurts. Don't do it. Just
Mm-hmm.
have good posture. It's so worth it. So now I'm afraid that I'm gonna do something super mundane and simple, like get out of the tub and pull my lower back muscles or something, because like it really is that simple for me to throw my lower back out of whack and pull a muscle. So like now
Oh,
I'm
jeez.
super paranoid that I'm just going to chain into that, so I'm super babying my lower back and my mid back today because I'm like I don't want to. That is the first weak core section of my center stack of person. I don't want to. The rest of me feels great. I've got full range of motion in my arms again. My fingers aren't tingly and numb anymore, and it no longer hurts to breathe. So,
Always a plus.
winning, winning. I was able to help carry the
You know,
Walmart grocery order up the stairs the other day.
breathing and carrying things is always a win.
For the record, yes, I order stuff from Walmart, the heavy things, potatoes, the large awkward things. toilet paper, stuff that is a pain in the keister to go fetch when you don't drive. Doable, but it is a pain to do. I have a walking trolley. I could legit just go walk, put it on the trolley, and walk it home, right? Like, it's a thing. I got lazy and I'd rather pay someone a tip and have them come bring it to my door.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sheer lazy is what it is. And I only do it for the heavy things, like potatoes,
Mm-hmm.
liquids, like if I want pop or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Also says, I know
cans.
how it is when isolating a sore muscle.
Yeah, yeah, it's a risk you run, but oh, if you can get that muscle isolated and healed in a couple of days, you're doing great.
Just realized I have a duck in my background that could have a friend. Also, do you like my nice crouch on my weird chair?
What are you doing for a sitting position today?
Just it's because there's
So
there's a
it is
platform
full
that you
on
can put
gremlin
your
mode.
yeah. I'm
Okay.
full on
So
goblin crafting mode.
so if I move slowly, it's because I'm being very conscious of my movements today. So I'm like, nope, I finally don't hurt. Just
Keep it that way.
we're gonna go very slow and hope I haven't stressed the weak part out to the point where it decides it's going to require me to be a pretty princess this week. Whatever. If I can craft with a pulled out back and a 2 week sweater challenge and actually still do it, a la the first sweater challenge we ever did. Remember, pulled on my back so hard I was rolling around my apartment floor, like the granny suite in the basement of the house, in
Ooh,
my computer chair. And then never, I got out of the computer chair to get into bed. That's my whole week. It was great. I can baby my back for a bit. Uh, why?
shall we get started?
Why? Yes. Let's do WIP Sprints. Oh,
Okay.
cat.
Brief
Hi.
explanation of WIP
Now you look at
sprints.
me pretty.
Yeah, absolutely. Brief explanation of WIP sprints in case you haven't been here before. We're gonna start this timer that's
When did
there.
you jump into my
We're gonna start that timer, and you're gonna have a project, and you're going to focus work on that project for 25 minutes. So we're not playing on our phones. I mean, you can chat in the chat a little bit because, like, I mean, that's what chat's for. But, like, we're not playing on our phones. We're not getting distracted. We are 25 minutes focused on whatever your project of choice is. And maybe your project of choice, maybe you're cleaning, maybe you're knitting, maybe you're having lunch. Whatever thing it is, you're focused for 25 minutes. Okay, there's my spiel.
Hey, Mike, are we done? Am I allowed to talk? I don't
Yes.
understand. I'm going. What? Who? Where?
It's fun to try
What?
and poke the timer. I can't poke the timer. I moved it too high up, but
I'm gonna, because I didn't get a full round in gray, so I need to pull all these grays apart.
mm,
So I'm going to pull apart some grays so I have granny squares, so that I can put them together with the white, which I do have a metric ton of, so that I can, instead of having to make backwards progress on my blanket, I can make forwards progress on my blanket.
makes
Step
sense.
one,
Yes,
rip back the
everybody in
part
chat,
that
let
isn't
us
going to
know
work.
what you're working on for your sprints.
Well, I want to pick this up next week and lean back here. Oh, leaning feels good. I'd put another couple rows of white squares onto this blanket to see where I'm sitting with Granny Square creation versus Granny Square connection for a blankie. I say blankie for my bed, guys. It's a big full size bed thing. So step one, pull out what isn't working to fix it, which works. Hey,
All of my
listen, I'm
sprints today are going to be the same thing because I
What's
have poor craft
because
time management. I have so like regular lifetime management is like pretty decent.
also
My
not
craft time,
great.
it's okay. My craft time management is bad. The Stego sweater test knit. I'm supposed to have a body and one sleeve done by Monday, the 31st.
Uh-huh. I know.
It's currently Saturday, the 29th. And you know
Uh-huh.
how much I have ddone?
You're not done the body. Have you even
I'm
split for
a
sleeves?
few. I'm like 3 rows away from splitting for sleeves. I haven't split for sleeves yet, and this is supposed to be done in 2 days. So this is what I'm working on. I'm also probably pulling an all-nighter if my wrist will let me.
She does this to herself, guys. She had
I do
time. It was a very
1000% did it to
reasonable
myself.
time frame. It was and then she puts it off.
100% reasonable time frame. I started this
Yeah.
in May, and
Yeah.
then I
You
like
could have been
ignored
done the
it.
sweater before now.
Yep. Yeah, I
You're not
absolutely
even
could
a
have.
larger size. You're a
I
smaller size.
absolutely could have had this sweater done by the end of June. Did I
Gosh.
do that? No. No, I did
Oh,
not. I'm not really sure what
guys,
I did instead,
guys.
but it wasn't this.
Oh, guys. I dread the next 4 months with you and me. I am going to drive you up the wall. You're going to be questioning our friendship by the end of this.
Yeah, I know. As long as you know.
You're going to give me gray hair. I work with deadlines. It's fine. My crafting deadlines are not super serious deadlines for the most part because it's my crafting. It'll get done when it gets done. But my adulting stuff tends to get done on a fairly regular basis. How many
Asa said
months till
that's why I laughed
January
when
from
she said
now?
she was
We have less.
doing a
We have
test.
less than 6. Yeah, that's why I
I'm
started
glad
laughing the
everybody
moment you
has
said you
such
did that.
faith in me.
We got less than 6 months, right? It's end of July.
Asa
Yeah,
says, do
yeah,
you
yeah,
knit
yeah.
test knitter for the fall? Uh,
Yes, yes, I do. In fact, we'll start official announcements because there's nothing like peer pressure to get a fire under Diana's butt.
mm-hmm. I know.
Everybody
I have
really
it
liked
planned.
the.
I have it planned. I have plans. I just, need to finish the
I
sticker
love,
sweater first.
I love your plans. Everybody loved the MCAL. Everybody asked if I would do another MCAL. I said, sweet Jeebus, no for Christmas because that was way too much work on top of Christmas. And then we'll just do an MCAL for the podcast anniversary. No, I don't want to do that. That's too much work. Diana, we could really do an MCAL for the podcast anniversary. That'd be fun. Well, then I start thinking, and this is the problem. If we let me think something's going to happen, Diana now has the yarn. There is a pattern in place to use said yarn. Aaron of Fireweed Fiber Co. has made kit plans. There will be kits for this. There will be kits for this. I need Diana to finish her part on time so that I can release this MCAL for the 1st of January. And I'm already
Wait,
stressing, and we're not even in August.
chill. Chill. I have so many plans for this. Do not worry. I just
We
need to
even
finish
have a
the sticker
name.
sweater. Hmm?
We have a name. Like the hardest part for me to do. Done. But yes, Asa, I need a secret tester in the fall if you're free.
Since I think Diana will probably be late, send me a mail. I will do it. Just let me know.
Well, it's more so okay, so it's gonna be called the Choose Your Own Adventure, MCAL. High on the fluff and the fun. Gonna be a good knit. It's going to run 3 months. It is going to be a very chill MCAL. So you will get 1 or 2 clues a month. I still haven't figured out how I'm going to distribute the clues so that there is time for life. So that there's time for life. You will have time between each clue to get it done
Yes,
at a
these will not be
Diana
Stephen
speed.
West size
This is
clues.
these are not Stephen West size clues. It's a Stephen West size shawl. I'm going to say it's a shawl, guys. It's a shawl.
Yeah.
We did a shawl. It's going to be a huge shawl, as I do, but you're going to have 3 months to get it done in. So you got plenty of time. Plenty of time. But I need to have Diana done. And it needs to be done before we start because I know better. Because I know better.
There are
Just,
so many plans.
just I'm stressed, and we're not even in December. For the record,
Do
I
not
don't
worry.
have my yarn kit yet, I don't have my first test sample done, and I'm not stressing it about my end. I'm stressing Diana's end.
Do not stress. Stress your own stuff. I will stress my own stuff. Do not worry. See, this is a deadline that somebody else is giving me. So come heck or high water,
Ooh, heck or
it
high water.
heck or high water, it's going to get done. Like unless I am hospitalized, it's getting done. Because this is somebody else's deadline.
Uh,
Oh yeah, is the timer supposed to be running? I did not officially start that, so yeah, let's officially start that whip sprint. Okay, whip sprint 1 officially starting now.
oh, good.
Yeah,
I've
there we
already
go.
started ripping squares out.
Thank you, Jude, for I already got distracted.
I got distracted.
This does not bode well. Da, da, da.
I should also get up and work on the Nightshade Society sweater. That's what I should do.
Jude says, this project sounds like fun, and I'm glad I'm not in charge of the organization. Yeah, that's fair. That's too many stitches.
It's not too bad. Once I like to do the whole pattern and then I like break it into clues.
I think that
So
makes the most. That probably makes the most sense because then you can see how big each of the parts is.
yeah, and then my testers will be like one or two. Um, it's a shawl, guys. I don't need a ton of testers for a shawl pattern. Um,
But you know
get
how planned
going.
I have. I have a Pinterest board full of ideas. I have it scheduled in my calendar for each of the things that I need to have done. Even
Trust me,
including
I've
stitch tutorial videos. I even have plans for that
which we wanted to do this time. So, I've we've
because I
been
want to do some
slowly
weird stitches.
plugging away at this since like what, March. It's been a full year of background work. People are like, "Hey, Jocelyn, you're not crafting as much as you normally do."
Don't do
No,
bobbles. No, no bobbles. I'm not doing
no
bobbles.
bubbles.
There's not going to be any bobbles or popcorns or puffs or
Nope, nope. That's not our vibe.
buttons or
That's not our vibe.
noops or no.
Hey, listen, I liked my buttons, but I did buttons already.
At least in my parts, there's not going to be any of those.
It's a choose your own adventure. It'll be good.
That's true.
We've got some fun background work we got to do for the clues. That'll be enjoyable. I'm
Remember
looking
the
forward to
King's
that one.
Flame. Yes, I do remember the King's Flame, Asa.
That's still not done.
And no purling through the back loop?
Listen, I won't promise that because that you can switch. Purling through the back loop, just knit two together through the back loop if you don't care how the stitch leads.
If it's too much of an adventure, do a different stitch.
Do a different stitch. I'm
I
gonna
found
write
some
all the
really
intro
fun
caveats.
stitch patterns on Pinterest. I think
I love Pinterest for searching stitch patterns. Just, I like Pinterest for a lot of things. It's always a really
wrong color.
good for inspiration. Does that make sense?
Yes.
My mom sent me a recipe for something. I don't know. I haven't opened it yet. It just has the email and says my mom's email address. And it says subject recipe, and then look at this with the eyeballs, which tells me it's a Pinterest link. Okay.
Oh, I made your chili tofu thing that you did for
Yeah, yeah,
Experimental Tuesday the other day.
yeah,
I didn't even
yeah.
have like half of the correct ingredients, and it's still so good.
Didn't even have.
I mean, there's not a lot of ingredients, but like I didn't have rice vinegar, I had apple cider vinegar, and
Oh, that okay.
I
Yeah.
didn't have green
Small
onions,
subs.
I had chives.
Okay, so small subs then.
Yeah, small subs. And I
I
didn't
want to
have the
go.
right chili flakes. I subbed different chili flakes.
I was pretty sure a lot of people would sub. Like I just did red chili flakes because like I'm gonna have a super fancy chili, super fancy spicy
We
flaked
have a whole
egg.
bag of
No.
dried ghost peppers from one of Mr. Dinah's coworkers a couple summers back. Like
Yeah.
literally 2 summers ago, and we haven't used them all yet, and it's just like a small sandwich bag. They're that hot.
First
But
square has been detached.
crushed up
I'm
some
not
of
rescuing
those.
the graveyard, guys. I'm just letting it go. I did you see the one that I sent with like the get more food out of your food, the watermelon edition? I said it's an Instagram reel that I sent to you
Don't know if I saw that one.
because he walks you through how to make watermelon rind kimchi.
Rind kimchi. I knew you could do stuff with the rinds.
Yeah, which I was looking at. And I think I'm going to try. I'm going to get a well, I'm going to get a watermelon, and I'm going to try the other things with it. But I was like, I don't. I'm not a kimchi fan, but you are, so I sent it to you because it's like you might enjoy trying that.
Maybe. I'm not a huge
Two
fan
squares.
of
That actually
watermelon
came
to
up
begin
really
with.
good.
I know I'm
I
very
love
unpopular in this
watermelon.
opinion, but I'm not
That's
big
fine.
on melons. They just
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't know, they just like don't taste like anything to me. Like all
They really
melons are
do.
just kind of like
Water.
meh.
They're a water conveyor. They convey water to your body.
Yeah,
Now
I
I'm
just
not into like watermelon juice or watermelon like I like the occasional watermelon, but I don't want the whole like I'm the person who buys the tray with the 4 slices and that's sufficient.
yeah, I'm just like if I want water, I'll just drink water. I don't need it to crunch.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't get
it's fine.
melons.
I'm not a huge that's fine. I'm not a massive fan, but I do want to try I want to try it for the other things. That's what I want to do. So I need to get a small watermelon for the other stuff and then eat the watermelon. So if I do it right, and I will do it right, I will time it so that I get one for when the boys are here playing Magic or something because they will help me eat watermelon. I have faith in them. Same way I keep eyeballing red grapes. I love red grapes, but I can't eat a whole bag before they
Mm,
go. Because even if I love red grapes, I don't love them that much. Then it just clicked to me. I was like, if I get a watermelon and a bag of red grapes one day for when the boys are over gaming, they will help me eat the red grapes and watermelon.
definitely. Also says I love watermelon when it's warm, just because it's another texture to the water.
It
That's
does.
fair.
The Instagram reel went through peeling the skin of the watermelon and then blending the skin peel, obviously without like the sketchy blemish sections or the sticker residue part, which he was very clear to explain. Don't stick the sticker residue section of your
Okay.
watermelon rind. But he puts the skin he's peeled into a blender with a water with like just a little bit of water enough to make paste, and then it's supposed to have the same nutrient factors as like a wheatgrass shot.
Interesting.
And I love adding extra nutrients into my smoothies, and I don't mind a green smoothie, guys. I am okay with wheatgrass smoothie things. Like I will eat and drink truly hipster foods. Not all the time. I never got onto the kombucha hump, but there are some things that I can do quite comfortably, and that's one of them. So I'm
Ooh,
like,
kombucha.
that's
Ooh,
interesting
Elisa's in chat.
because
Hello.
hi. Well, my thinking is if I do what he does, which he freezes it into ice cube tray sizes and then he just adds it to a smoothie and stuff, that's a great way to just add an extra kick of nutrients into a smoothie.
Yeah.
So that's not a bad idea. And I want to see what pickled watermelon rind tastes like. Because really, when you pickle things, you're after the pickle flavoring.
It's true. I do like pickle flavoring.
So I'm like, I might have to try. I might have to try it. I don't know. I sent it to you because I wasn't sure. The egg thing I definitely can't do. Doesn't matter how tasty it looks. I can't do that one.
I
That
am
one I
very
sent
interested in the egg thing.
solely because it was like that sounds so tasty and that I would pay for it so bad. Pay for it so bad. Not doing it. I'm not doing it. I know better.
No, that's fine. I can try it and let you know if it's good.
Thank you. But I need to walk up to the grocery store and get some pineapple because I want to do a pineapple ginger sauce for my tofu this month.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Well, I figure I bought some more silken tofu. Well, technically soft tofu because the silken tofu here, unless you go to an Asian store, is pretty much all flavored. Mango, flavored mango.
Interesting. I guess it's
I
meant
don't
for desserts.
Yes, yeah, but you used to be able to get different flavors, so you could use them for different things, and have different flavored desserts, or put them into smoothies for protein kicks. But not so much anymore. You usually just find the mango flavor. That's fine, whatever. Again, unless you go to an Asian store, in which case I can find them in all sorts of flavors. I'm
Jules
not going
says
to do
it's
that.
blueberry season now. Yum. Is it blueberry season? Okay, I need to go hunt down some blueberries then.
So,
Very important knowledge.
yes, if you are a berry eater, it is important knowledge.
I am a great eater of berries.
You are.
I am, in fact, partially comprised of berries at all times.
At all times,
At all times.
you are berries.
Well, I mean, you are what you eat, right?
Which case I'm a potato. Staple food group in this house is potatoes. Potatoes.
Potatoes.
Potatoes.
Fry mashed
I
and stick 'em in
am
stew.
Samwise Gamgee when it comes to potatoes. I like potatoes. There, 3 squares. That was not an easy square to discombobulate. I'm gonna take a sip of my drink.
I shall have to venture to a market and see if I can get some berries.
Well, my thinking is if I make the pineapple ginger sauce, I could do the garlic chili thing over top of the soft tofu, but make it pineapple ginger instead.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Jude says you can have my share of the potatoes and other nightshades.
Absolutely.
I
I'm
mean, I
either
can
a
help with that.
potato or I'm a mushroom.
Ooh, yes.
Hard call. I'm either of the fungus variety, in which case, whatever. Pretty chill.
I learned that mushroom computers is an active field of study.
Okay.
Like building logic gates out of mycelium networks
Why not?
is an active field of study. There's a lab, it's called the Unconventional Computing Lab at UWE Bristol.
Okay.
And I'm suddenly very interested in getting a biology degree and going to do some graduate studies.
Making mushroom computers? Well, if you think about
Yeah.
it, given the complexity nature of some fungi structures and the stretch and reach of them and how important they are environmentally speaking, it would be a heck of a thing if we could have organic computers processing information while also
It
being
wouldn't be
able
like
to.
replacing the silicon chips in like
No,
our
no,
regular everyday computers, but for like
big
large
things.
environmental sensors,
Yeah,
there's
for
some
big
serious
things.
potential there.
Yeah, listen, solar farms are not going to replace my AC unit, but they are useful and necessary. Oh, so if we ever needed a plug for the friendly ergonomic pillow, it has been my companion this week.
Oh, yeah?
It has been my companion this week. Like hot chocolate and cookies. Like she is. We're tight, tight friends this week. It's actually the small of my back right now. I'm deflating her. I've squished her pretty flat over the last couple of years. I might need to get a new one. I might need a replacement friendly ergonomic pillow.
If anybody else would like a podcast branded friendly ergonomic pillow, we do have a merch store.
We do.
I should probably revamp it a little because it's been a while since I've looked at it.
I think so. I'd take a look. We should take a look at the stuff that we've got and see what we like and what we don't like and make changes.
Yes.
That should happen because I love the backpack. Love the backpack. But I wanna have a teeny one. Does that make sense? Like my cat sized one?
Yes. A smaller
You know
one?
what I'm talking about. Yeah, like a
More like a
smaller one.
purse sized backpack?
Yes. play with some
Yes. Oh,
things.
and they might
So,
have
ooh,
different.
so
The
more to go.
supplier might have different stuff available now than when I
Yes.
made stuff.
First time? Yeah. No. So I would like to. You were right. It is. We're getting close to fall. We should do some fiddling. Fiddling.
Got to do the background secret MCAL work though first.
Well, that should be happening as we go.
Then I can do
Three
store
more squares
stuff.
to go. I don't know how much time we have left.
We have about 10 minutes.
Oh, we're doing good.
Oh, Susanna's in chat. Morning all. We're
Hey,
at work again.
Susanna. There we go.
Also says, I've used my backpack so much I need to wash it. It got dirty. And we need those small metal boxes for needles and pins.
We really do.
Yes.
We need pins. Is what we need to do. Is I need to get in there, and me and Diana need to sit down, and rather than vaguely going, "Man, we want a pin," we actually just need to do it. We
Well,
just
I
we
did some
just need to
research
do it.
into enamel pins, and this research is like 2 years old now. But at the
Yes.
time, anyway, there was nobody doing like print on demand pins, so we'd have to order like 200 and then ship them ourselves.
Which slowed us down, obviously. And then my brain went, now, especially because we're starting to go back to events and things and we're starting to do stuff, my brain's gone back to the if we still end up doing a bulk order for pins, ship it to you, roughly divide in half by weight. Next time you're in town, bring half with you, and then we have pins on us, and then people have to come find us in person to get them.
Hmm.
Is what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
That
we could
could
do that.
work. And like the super rare time we do a giveaway, I can always toss a pin in the bag.
We have plans and things.
Plans and things, but I'm also because I'm updating my social media stuff with my niece because I've got her interning for me this summer. Now my brain's on updating social media everywhere, which also means the podcast. So I'm looking at about pages and things and going, you know what? We threw it up real quick. We did it kind of sparse because at the time, 2+ years ago, it was hobby stuff for us. Now we're starting to take it a bit more seriously. Should probably do a proper one. Should we should probably do that. Snickerdoodles, 2 squares left to go. And then I have done that annoying thing. You know, when you're driving on the highway and you miss your off ramp and you got to go backwards till you get to your off ramp?
Mm-hmm.
Like you got to turn around and repeat your trip and it drives you nuts. This feels the same. Yeah, I know I have to, but man, I'm grumpy about it.
Jude says, so when are you coming to Europe? So us across the pond can find you.
As soon as I can afford it, as soon as I can afford it, we're going to Europe. And I'm the
Pretty
one who'd be
much.
holding us up for that one.
Oops. What color?
Trust me. Trust me. My next big feat after being able to figure out how to afford to go to Europe is how I get Diana to Europe without her husband. Because that's a heck of a girl's trip.
I think I say, oh no, you can't get time off work. Okay, bye. Kind of like I'm doing for DEF CON in a couple weeks.
Not because I don't love him, because I am friends with him. And I enjoy his company, because I do. Otherwise, I wouldn't be friends with him. It's just really, truly that simple. But we wouldn't be doing anything he'd be interested in.
I know.
I'm
I
like,
mean, he could come and
I
like
want
go
to
do
bring
his
you.
own thing, I guess.
He wouldn't, though. He wouldn't. There would be pouting.
Yeah.
There'd be pouting because he would be by himself a lot. Now you like probably put the caveat in, like if you can convince your brother to come with us, then you have a partner in crime and you two could go do stuff all day long. Otherwise,
That'd
it
be fun.
doesn't make sense to go and have two hotel rooms when we could just you and I can travel and just have one hotel room.
Also says, I have guest beds, so you don't need a hotel here. Well, that makes Norway a lot more cost effective.
Yes, it does. Because Jocelyn does an Airbnb. She's in her 40s. I don't think so. Sometimes it's worth the extra money at night. Just stay in a place where you have your own bathroom that has a hot tub. So when
You don't
you've
even need the
done
hot
your
tub, just like your own
smiles
bathroom.
emoji. Yes.
Sleeping space you're not sharing with strangers.
Oh yeah.
I've done
It's
the
just
hostel thing.
no thank you. It's not a thing that's ever interested me.
Honestly, I've had really great times doing the hostel thing. It was definitely the only way I afforded doing Europe when I did.
Not.
But yeah,
Why not? It is something we would like to do. It is something we would very much like to do.
eventually, one day, maybe.
Oh, it'd be so nice. But, I'm of the mind of you're gonna dream big. I'd like to take a gap year, is what I'd like to do.
Jude says I have UK historical sites covered. And also says we can go visit the pickle shop that Louise loves.
Let's be honest, guys. If I thought I could do it, I thought if like what is my mom keeps going, she's like gonna be like a big named author, like a super like you know, influencer or something. She's like, that sort of range. I'm like, okay, I'm with you. Where I can work wherever I am, right?
Yeah.
Just take a year. Just take a year. Go as far go the other way to get to Japan and Australia and New Zealand. Start there and just putter. Just putter all the way home. I'm
See,
like, you're
that
not wrong.
sounds.
You're
It
not
sounds
wrong.
good in theory, but I'm also aware that I'm good for traveling for about 10 days and then I'm like I just want to go home and be in my own bed.
Which is super fair. I'm quite comfortable traveling for extended periods of time. So, oh yeah, one more square to go. Do I have time? I hope so.
3 minutes. Sorry, I've been
That'd
slightly
be one
ignoring
of
the
those
chat.
ones when I got home. Oh man, I'd be so happy. Nobody would see me for weeks. I'd be like, no, I've peopled for a year. I'm done. I'm taking a break. Mostly it's because I don't fly very well. So like it would be easier for my body to just commit to it and do shorter trip days to get home. I can barely handle a 5 hour flight to get to one end of my country, and I'm in the middle.
Yeah.
The 14 plus hours to go farther is what's really holding me back. I am miserable for that
So
five
to get
hour
to
flight.
Vegas, I have to go via Calgary.
Really?
Yeah, there's
Okay.
not a direct
Okay.
flight.
Of
There's a
course
direct
there
flight
is.
home. There wasn't a direct flight out, or it was just ridiculously expensive or something.
Ridiculous.
So I have to
So,
go
how long's
via
the layover in
Calgary.
Calgary? If it's only
It's
like
not
an
that long. It's only
hour.
like a 2 hour layover or something. So
Oh, that's
like
nothing.
enough time for me to get off the plane, probably go get my bags because it's going to be an international flight. So I probably have to get my bags and check them in again.
Possibly, yeah.
So it's not enough time to leave the airport.
Which is good because if you've got like that awkward, like it is enough time to leave the airport, but you can't really do anything, those are the
Yeah,
worst. Either enough time to get from one flight A to flight B without being like super stressed about time because it's longer. You need 2 hours. Anything under 2 hours and stuff can go sideways, and then you're rushing and it's stressful and nobody wants to do that. Done. I got the last square on done.
yeah. No, there's
But if you've got like
nothing.
4 hours, then you're bored at the airport, but it's not actually long enough to like do anything touristy in the place you are in.
Yeah. No,
Ugh.
I'm good. It's the right
Ugh.
amount of time to get between flights with
Ha ha
the
ha.
international aspect, and even if and I'm flying WestJet, so it should be a little more reliable. than some other airlines
Here's hoping, hey?
I've flown with.
Yeesh.
Um, like that time I just moved the whole trip back a week because the plane never showed up.
Well, there's only so much they can do, and I know they're having some serious
I know.
problems, but
No,
it's
they're doing their
frustrating.
best. It's yeah.
It's frustrating. I get it. All right. They've detached squares. Yes.
It's
Which
about
means
20
I can
seconds
do
left.
excellent timing. Which means next week I can do some square attachment days and attach the squares I have made and see how big this bad boy is then. This is being made entirely out of worsted weight cotton yarn. And so far I haven't had to buy any yarn for it. I'm gonna have to buy more white. I'm gonna have to buy more white. I still have the
Ding.
big ball of sugar lily sugar and cream white cotton worsted to use, but I'm probably gonna end up buying more white. That's fine. I don't mind. It'll mean I'll
All
have a
right.
whole blanket and two pillowcases out of pretty much whatever white I have to do for cost, so that's not too bad. Detached squares.
Yay.
I can now
All right.
attach them
Everybody stretch,
in the right
hydrate,
color.
move around,
Oh,
select your
lean
next
forward.
project.
See, friendly ergonomic pillow. But look how flat it is.
Yeah, I don't use mine so much. It's a little
Even has
squishier.
the hashtag. Don't forget to knit. It's flat. I have
Mine's a little
aggressively
poofier.
I have aggressively yeah, I have aggressively used mine for the 2 years I've had it. Aggressively used mine. I've got a
I
little bit
use
of
it when my
pilling and
desk is
stuff
clean enough
too.
to use that chair, which is not often.
It's
I should
got some
probably just
pilling.
put this higher up in the background so people can see it, hey?
This this has traveled with me. I use it as a head pillow when I'm stuck sleeping on the couch for weeks on end with the heat. I use it when my back hurts. I use it when my shoulders hurt. I use it when I'm cramping. I do the pillow is got full-time work in this household. So I'm like, I don't want one, I want two.
I gotta stand up.
I need a
Stretch.
matching pair of friendly ergonomic pillows because I use mine all the time. If I'm not using it, Phaedra uses it as a pillow. So like I'll come out on the couch and she'll have her head on it, and the rest of her will be draped on the couch. Oh,
Okay. Catching up on chat.
yeah.
Blah blah blah. What I read about pickles. Okay. Susanna was talking about work. She had to do some payments. 36 separate payments. It's a big pain.
That is a big pain. Ugh. Ugh.
It sounds like a pain. I don't know anything about doing pay stuff for a company, but it sounds really annoying.
Payroll is gotta be the most underappreciated and needed job on the admin HR department section. It's not even funny. I'm up. Again, guys, I'm babying my back.
About layovers, Lisa was saying my parents did 5 hours when we were little. Five
Oh,
hours
with
is
little
that's enough
people?
time to be bored, especially if it's domestic.
That is long. Okay, I'm gonna take my headphones off while I look at for things to work on.
Susanna, it takes 1 hour to drive from the north end of Calgary to the south end, and even on Deerfoot, the speed limit. Yeah, yeah. So I'm staying in the airport. I do not have enough time to go do stuff, especially if the flight's late and if I've got to pick up my bags and recheck them in, because yeah, it's a 10-day trip. I'm gonna have a checked bag. Plus, also, I'm planning on doing some shopping, and I might collect random stuff. At least I got less than 2 hour layovers, and I hate it. Oh yeah, less than 2 hours, you end up jogging. Tracy, I love airports. Don't mind layovers. See, I'm good with layovers as long as I don't know. I like the amount of layover where you have like enough time to get to your gate and like chill for half an hour. So you're not enough layover to not have to run, but also not enough time to sit there and be bored. But also as an adult with phones and knitting, it could be a 3 hour layover, and that would be fine. Crafty Chemist molecular dynamics simulation is running, so now I can craft. That sounds fancy. What are you simulating? And what is molecular dynamics? I assume that's how molecules move, but in what context? I want to know more about this. Oh, break timer. Duh. Yes, Asa, thank you. Short break. Yes, short break. Mm-hmm. I'm really bad with a timer today. Sorry, guys. Pause for snack. Mm-hmm. I made banana muffins yesterday. It was a very good choice. Mm-hmm. So I have mostly 3 rows left before I split for sleeves on my sweater. And only one of those rows is actually color work. After that, it's just a couple of solid color stripes. And then I split for sleeves, and then it's solid body all the way down. And it's going to go so much faster, and I'm so excited.
I had a thought that required me to leave the room for a second.
Ah. Setting up protein structure for a consulting project. So the dynamics allows the protein to move around and assemble into its best form. So what makes a protein form better?
What are we learning?
I'm learning about chemistry and molecular dynamics.
Excellent.
Crafty Chemist is running a molecular dynamics simulation, and I've started asking a bunch of annoying questions because I want to know things.
Okay, so no, I don't find them annoying. I'm with you. I suppose it would make sense proteins would have an ideal form, which would be individual to the protein itself.
Like I'm aware that proteins have an ideal form, but I don't know like why or what makes it an ideal form. And like an
Oh yeah,
ideal form for what?
that I have no
My
clue.
I have high school chemistry, and that's it. That was my last chemistry class, was like 15 years ago. So I know nothing about
I took a chemistry
stuff.
course in high school, but that's all I did. Intro chemistry.
Liz says, I want to make blueberry muffins. I highly endorse this. You should make blueberry muffins.
Lemon blueberry muffins.
I was about to say, I also now want to make lemon blueberry muffins. Tracy says, Diana, you don't have time for breaks.
Nope.
For I have time for a 5-minute snack break. In aid of, if I take breaks, if I take small breaks frequently, I can overall craft for longer. Because
yes,
I am
that's actually how that works.
Planning to stay up super late tonight to work on this.
We're getting Discord messages. Hey, you still awake? Yeah. I took a nap. I'm good. Hey, I have reasons.
It mimics the physiological environment. Water pH, and there's no complete structure available. So there are actually crystal structures, some proteins, so you know what they look like.
That sounds so cool to me.
So cool. I'm lacking a lot of background science for this.
That's fine.
But I bet I could write the software you're using.
Yeah, it's still more useful than me.
I don't understand the data it's taking in or the data it's putting out, but I could write the code. Jude says, there's something satisfying about protein structure diagrams. Do they still have the crowdsourced protein folding online thing going? Oh, I vaguely remember something about that. There is a site called AlphaFold.
Listen. Some people do really smart things with the internet. Some people do incredibly useful stuff. Jocelyn contemplates paying for a DNA kit for her cat.
Sorry, you're contemplating what?
There's a there's a service that'll DNA your cat's genetic codes and give you a breed breakdown of your cat.
Like 23andMe, but for your cat?
Yes. Kinda wanna. Kinda wanna.
But why?
Why not?
I mean, I
Why would you
guess.
do
I think I'd
23 and
rather.
me? Like, why?
I would want to do it for the family history aspect. But I don't know if that's the same reasoning for a cat.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm far more comfortable if somebody hacks my cat's genetic information. I am not
Also,
comfortable with
that,
the idea
yes.
of a third party owning my genetic information.
That is why I haven't done it, is I don't really want some company owning my genetic code.
Yeah. But, if some company wants to own the Tiny Dictator's genetic code, that's way less offensive to me. It's way less offensive to me. What are you going to sell to her? She doesn't watch TV.
Crafty Chemist says I DNA'd my dog. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Like, it would just be fun. Then you could enjoy all the fun aspects of it without like that huge ass information security risk that you'd be taking if you do it yourself. The reason I left is because I have a surplus of Walmart bags in my rocking chair in the kitchen. And it occurred to me that I need to rip out the brown granny square pullover because mom wants it in a cardigan format.
To look up this alpha fold thing. Hang on, I have to open a tab for later.
Yep. So I'm going to do another ripping for a second WIP sprint because this needs to be pulled apart so I can remake it into a cardigan for mom.
Another ripping sprint. It's a rip
Another,
sprint.
it is a rip sprint. It's very satisfying to do. But this one's been worn for a while. So this one will be interesting to do because I don't know.
Embark for DNAing your dog. Embark.
Embark,
Yeah.
BARK, I'm assuming. Yeah.
Yeah. Embark.
Yeah. Yeah.
As in wolf.
Super cute. It just lets you do all the fun stuff with the genetic revealing without that risk. But it's the risk, right? Like, oh, I can't justify it for myself because it's not just me that'd have the information security risk, it's my family.
Yeah, I've got a very dystopian view on what they might ultimately do with that data, so I'm not giving it to
As
them.
you should.
I mean, like, currently, to the best of my knowledge, they have done nothing untoward with it whatsoever. I have
You know
dystopian.
humans. You know
I have very
humans.
dystopian ideas about what they're doing with stuff eventually. But as of right now, it seems to be perfectly safe, and it's honestly really cool to know. I would love to know the information. I would love to know because there's suspicion that there's Irish in my background like 8 generations ago, and the only like the family history is gone there, so like the only way I'd ever find that out is with genetic testing.
In some ways, it would be nice because there are holes and there are gaps. It would be nice to have that information like filled. And in some ways, because I know race is a social construct and social cultural heritage stuff isn't necessarily something you want to be at the forefront of your person going forward. I also don't want to know. Does that make sense? Probably not, but that's okay. History comes with weight. Knowing your history comes with the weight of the culture to which you belong to because of your history. And you have to be aware of that, and that given how much realization we have done with some aspects to instinctive human behavior over the last bit, and the larger questions that we're asking ourselves, I don't know if I necessarily want to be weighed down with more cultural mores that aren't going to make me a better person. I don't want to be that person at the party that sits down and goes, "Well, I'm this Canadian because, my one, my uncle on the left-hand side 3 times removed ones came from this small European country that doesn't exist anymore." Like I don't want that level of weight on me. I'd like to know
I think
about
that
that small European
I would
country
love
that
to
doesn't
know.
exist
I would love to
anymore.
know that, but like, yeah, I'm not gonna like randomly bring that up at a party.
We know
I feel
we
like that'd be a weird thing. I'm gonna start
people
the
do it.
timer for our second Pomodoro.
Oh yes, please do. People do it all the time. Like they identify themselves as a place they have never been, with cultural standards that they don't adhere to, as a point of pride, as an identifier marker as to who they are. Like that makes them a good person or a bad person because of
Oh,
where their ancestors came from. And I'm like,
I
if I
feel like
don't
that's
know,
down to the person
then I don't
about
have to
what
do.
you
I don't have to do
do with
that
it.
whole game. I don't have to do that whole game. I don't know.
Stana says my family is in Debrecen. I don't know where that is. What country is that
I
in?
already have enough family history that's enough of a pile of nonsense to have to carry around. I don't require more.
That's fair. On my end, I have like zero family history, and I would love to have some more.
My
Jude.
grandmother couldn't publicly say she was adopted till she was in her 70s. There's some family history I don't want. I don't want to know them. I don't want to know them. I don't want to know where they came from. I
That's
don't.
fair. I know
Absolutely do
nothing
not.
about nothing, so like I know absolutely zero about my dad's side. I know a little bit about my mum's side, and that's it. That's all I've got. Jude says we can take our family history back to the 1700s through the records, with the exception of the Irish branch. There's trauma in knowledge sometimes.
There's trauma in the knowledge.
I can see that.
Imagine everybody who currently has Russian heritages.
Yeah. Well, that's like why I
I'm
don't
sorry, we
want
know
American
people.
companies having my genetic code so that they can't be racist with it, basically.
Pretty much, and you have to protect yourself from that stuff.
Or like ableist or anything if it turns out I've got some genetic marker for something,
Yep, there's
even if
there's
it's
a
not presenting in
lot.
any way.
Yeah, there's a lot. Which is sad that you have to weigh the knowledge with the what you'd have to deal with if you had the knowledge, you know?
Crafty Chemist says, I thought my ancestry was primarily Scottish and English until I looked at my family tree. Turns out I'm a lot more Irish than I knew. That's neat. My mum's mum was very Scottish, entirely Scottish family tree. That's the family tree that I have. I know nothing about my mum's dad other than he came from Poland. Actually, we found recently my uncle found a box of old documents, including the immigration paperwork for my grandparents.
Oh, good.
So we now know the village in Poland that my grandfather was from, which is really cool. I looked it up on Google Maps. It is still very much like a teensy little farming village.
Okay.
So that might be cool to visit one day. And my mom's mum did her childhood, at least, on an estate in southern Scotland, because her father was the chauffeur.
Okay.
And this estate now is open to the public as like an art space, but you can also like stay there and stuff, and it's all like super fancy. So I was actually emailing them a while back, being like, hey, there's this bit of family history, and I was wondering if you could tell me more about it. They didn't have much on it, but they were wondering if I knew more about it, and so I didn't. But I got all of my mom's knowledge about relatives and stuff, who are like lost contact with ages ago and are probably not around anymore, but I could potentially track down obituaries and then potentially track down living family members on like Facebook or something. So I have the information required to start a genealogy project, which I have not started
I
yet.
have I have a huge genealogy stuff has been done on both sides of my family, so I have that stuff. Uh, and the primary tracking resource for us is the family Bibles.
Family Bibles?
Yeah, it tracks births and deaths for each generation. My name is listed with my date of birth in my family Bible as far back as 4 or 5 generations. It's listed and transferred.
See,
It's a
I
good
don't have anything
primary
like
source
that.
documentation. It's a great primary source. Starts for a lot of things. Birth certificates and death certificates.
That'd be so cool. Elisa says, Mum's side, I know about the 1900s in Puerto Rico. Oh my god, why can't I say that word? And it has been in the Puerto Rican mountains since 1500s and then southern Spain. That's cool. Dad is 1800s, mixture of different Western European countries and I believe pilgrims. See, that's cool to know so much stuff.
Less documentation on my mother's side of the family for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Insert all of the bad colonization stuff here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm afraid my family's history is from the colonizing side. I mean, they weren't doing it. They were still over in Europe, to the best of my
Hey,
knowledge. But,
listen, listen. You stand by and you let someone bully someone else, it's just as bad as being the bully.
yes, I know.
I have both sides. It's great. Find balance in that.
Lusai.
Lusai. So history comes with weight, comes with responsibility. Got to be careful. But knowing how much of a percentage of short-haired breed my cat is doesn't come with any weight or any responsibility. Hence the desire to find her genetic history back.
That's true. It would just be
I
fun.
also, it would just be fun because she doesn't care. Yeah, you. Hi, have you come to cause trouble? Of course you have. Why? You were napping quite contentedly behind the computer. Why'd you move? Mummy doesn't want you.
Lisa says there are some tribes around here who have changed from descent based identity to DNA based. It has had both good and very bad results.
Yes.
Interesting.
No, I don't want you. I don't listen. Just because I
I
have
guess if the
something on my
DNA
lap.
disagrees with the oral history.
Descent labels and names and stuff. Cause you also, yeah, Phaedra, this is not how this. You don't. You. She's kneading the blanket, like the sweater, in my lap.
Oh
She's
no.
making it. I'm trying to work on it. Not helpful. Say hi, internet. Bye, internet.
Hello,
Mommy
kitty.
says no. It causes problems because say there's an illegitimate child somewhere in there,
Mm,
or you were adopted into a tribe and it has been 5 or 6 generations, so it wasn't recorded anywhere. Genetically speaking, you don't belong to them the same way. Like it
yeah.
causes a lot of problems. It centers the focus and weight of who you are based on family and blood, which is the worst way to do things. Worst way to do things. Since the weight should be with the people who are your family, and if you need to use blood as the only identifying marker for titles and names and stuff, like that's not good.
Yeah. Whereas for me, for me and my family, there's no weight on any of it because it's information we don't we don't have and haven't had, and like the family's tiny anyway, and like nobody would care one way or the other if I find out that in the past, as Crafty Chemist says, you may also discover things like first cousins that married. Like, nobody's
Yeah,
gonna care. It would just be like a fun little bit of trivia
yeah.
in my family.
It's
So
it's
it's,
it's a thing. Well, and it's because my great grandmother wasn't my great grandmother, and I will punch the person who says my great grandmother wasn't my great grandmother. I don't acknowledge the lady who gave birth to my grandmother because she's not my great grandmother. My great grandmother was my great grandmother because my great
yeah.
grandmother did the work for the title. and that holds
Yeah.
more weight.
Well, yeah. Of course it does.
But it can raise a whole bunch of complications. So I just Phaedra won't care, so it's safe to do it for the cat.
Fair.
Nor do I necessarily want to get tied and bogged down with politics from hundreds of years ago from people who won't let go.
Yeah. No, totally understand that.
Which is
I
why I haven't looked too closely into the Douglas family history. Because if I ever actually get to Scotland, I would like to just be able to enjoy the castles and not have to be like, well, our family had a feud with this family 350 years. No, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to. I
see.
don't. I don't
I
want to.
just think that would be like a cool little factoid to know that has absolutely no weight or bearing on anything in my life today in the modern world.
Just a way to make us versus them for more things. So I don't. I'm not interested in that stuff. I'm interested in history for history's sake. Why?
There's a
Why did I
website.
do this to myself? Because I never thought I'd have
Stuff
to
that
unattach
UK
the
stuff.
sweater. That's why I did this.
I'll have to look at that. Tracy says a
But I
good
did
source
see
for looking up family history is the Church of Latter-day Saints. They keep records on everyone, weirdly. Okay.
they really do. They're an odd group of people. I saved a link. Well, I emailed a link to myself for an app that'll convert research papers into audio papers.
Ooh.
I
Sounds
know.
fancy.
How freaking handy would that be? As it is, I've gone through almost all of the audiobooks that I'm willing to read at the Winnipeg Public Library. Oh.
It's a lot of audiobooks though.
Well, I'm
There's
not interested in mystery or thriller, and I certainly won't do top 40 romance or top 40 fiction. I'm not. No. It's
fair.
not a genre that interests me. If I'm having an insomnia issue, I'll pick up a top 40 contemporary fiction. Otherwise, absolutely not.
They don't all suck. I picked up a like top 40 brand new romance novel, which I never would have done except that it was for a book club that still hasn't met and I don't know if we're ever going to, but honestly, it's a book I never would have picked up on my own. And I loved it so much. It
Oh,
it touched on some things.
I'm not into knowing me.
It was a little bit it was more therapeutic than I thought a romance novel was going to be.
See, and I don't. That's not what I want from my romance novels.
No, I was expecting like stupid, light, fluffy silliness, which is totally fine if that's what you want.
That's
And
what I
it
want.
was a little heavier than that. Oh, hello, Sally in chat. You've joined us in the
Hi.
heavy philosophical discussion, WIP Sprint.
It rotates. I get onto all sorts of metaphorical soapboxes about things. I don't lack for opinions.
Liz says ancestry is a great source of information. You cannot judge your ancestors on who you are in this age. That's my thinking, but also I don't like I get there's a lot of people in the world that do like put a lot of weight on like blood and ancestry and stuff.
There's a
I
lot
don't
still,
have any of
yes.
those people in my life or my family,
Well,
to the
I
best of
mean,
my knowledge.
I'm judged by vast portions of society because of my ancestry on my mother's side.
Yeah, and I don't have that background
Yeah. So
or
I've
like
got
that. I
I
don't have that lived experience.
I have a
Is what
couple
I'm
lived
trying to say.
experiences where it's not good. Not a ton, but I have a few.
Yeah,
Both
which
ways.
sucks, and that's
Both
stupid.
ways.
And I
Yeah. So I
it's
know
dumb.
there's a
People can be
danger.
dumb.
Yes, yes, we can. We're actually spectacular at it. Ugh, this is gonna be a long time to rip because I this sweater has been worn a bunch, so it's slightly fuzzy, and it's
Ah,
a dark colored yarn that I'm trying to unsew the seams for.
why do you do these things to yourself?
Well, I wasn't supposed to be putting it back together. Okay.
Susanna says, the fact that you don't lack for opinions made
Nope.
her laugh.
No, I don't. I do not
No,
lack for
you have many
opinions.
opinions.
I do. I'm comfortable with people having opinions that are different than me. Which is probably the saving grace, eh?
It's when people have loud opinions and their opinions are the only opinions that are the correct opinions.
People can
Those
have other
people
opinions from me.
are impossible.
People can have other opinions from me. I don't care.
Lisa says that's what I feel. I say I have Italian. I say I have Italian ancestry, but I'm Puerto Rican American. Yeah, I guess that would be like if you think your family history is one thing and then genetics say it's a completely different thing. That'd be sort of
It can throw
a
someone's sense of
shock.
self.
Yeah. No, I can totally see that.
I'm Canadian. Full stop.
Yeah. I'm second generation Canadian on my mom's side and question mark at least 3 on my dad's. So, I am Canadian.
Canadian. Full stop. I am not Scottish Canadian. I'm not Irish Canadian. I'm not Scottish Irish Canadian. I am not Métis Canadian. I am Canadian.
Jude says, we found out that we had someone involved in the Spanish Armada situation and visited the site where they were based when on shore. Ruins now, but interesting. There was some to see still. So that's cool. I would love to be able to go to, like, I don't know, a castle in Scotland or whatever and be like, my great, 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 whatever, did something mundane here. Because it would be something really mundane.
Most of us
We had a
did
lot of
mundane
blacksmiths.
things.
Maybe like so and so great 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 uncle was the blacksmith here once. I don't know.
See, and I would just want to go see the places of the Spanish Armada because Spanish Armada.
But also just, yeah, general historical significance.
See castles because castles are cool. Mont Bailey. Oh, see some Mont Bailey castles in person. So good.
Susanna's just
See some
very
Georgian
Winnipeg. Her dad was born in
architecture.
Winnipeg in 1920. Also says, I'm Norwegian for several generations, and we more or less lived in the same area for generations. I might have a bit of Finnish in me due to Finnish immigration to the area. Interesting. I know nothing about. I don't know. I think of Europe as being like the place where I don't know, like I don't think of Europe as having immigration within it, but also this is from I was educated on history in Canada from a Canadian
Oh, why would
perspective, so it was
why
like
wouldn't you have internal immigration within
no, it's stupid because I just
Europe?
because I was educated from a Canadian standpoint. So, like, Europe is the place where all the stuff started, and then they came over here and did stuff, and there was immigration and whatever, but, like, everything was stagnant over in Europe, which is absolutely not how it was. That was just the simplified version for teaching to children. But it means as an adult, I have no concept of what the, like, immigration within and around Europe was.
I
Is,
love
was.
I love it. Not stable. And not static.
No, obviously not. But I actually never thought about it until this moment. I mean, like, dinosaurs happened just before World War II, okay?
Exactly.
I'm really starting to question the whole like education system for history. That whole social
History,
studies curriculum,
mandatory.
I'm seriously
Mandatory.
questioning everything I was
Four
taught now.
4 years of history credits, mandatory to graduate high school. You have to take history every freaking year just to have enough of a grasp to know you don't know enough to say anything.
Yeah, yeah, I was not required to do that, and I didn't do that. Actually, no, that's not true. I took, I think, one extra history term because the teacher was really great.
I took 4 levels of history in high school,
I definitely did not.
and I still had spares, people.
Two sciences, two bands,
One
two
science, no
Englishes.
band. History, English, art, 4 years of art.
Never did art.
Kind of what you did if you didn't do band, you did art. Band, art, or sports, really.
Didn't do sports. Did the bare minimum required.
That's another one I think should be mandatory all 4 years. You should have to take gym class.
We had so many kids in my high school. It was just like my class was the biggest class of kids to go through the system, I think, still ever. And the school was not built for that many kids, so there was literally not enough slots for everybody to use the gym. So at some point they implemented this like partial gym class thing where there was no like gym class, there was like health class a third of the time. Like once a month you'd go to a health class in a classroom. And then the rest of the time you were just like honor system trusted to like log going for a walk or something. I did that one.
That should be a thing that should be separated out from gym class. Health class should be its own thing, not crammed in with gym.
Probably.
There's a lot of things we do here that are just backwards. We're not doing the next generation any favors.
Sorry, I've been falling down on chat. People have been talking about family history stuff. Hang on. Immigration. Lisa says, I feel so young. My grandparents were born in the 30s.
It depends on when your parents had children and when their parents had children. Like it just depends. Because everybody's like, "Oh, your niece is so old. They're like so old compared to your age." Because I'm 40 and my niece is 16. But for my family, it's normal. Like my mom had me in her early 20s. Her mom had her children in her early 20s. Like that's the way we've done it. So to me, it doesn't seem weird
Yeah,
to
no,
be 40 with a niece who's almost an adult.
it depends entirely on the family.
Yeah, it
My
just
family's
depends on how
on
your
the
family does it.
older side.
A
My
lot of people's
mom's
are.
the youngest in her family, and her mom was 40, I think, when she
I
had her
can't
mom.
remember. I think Mr. B's parents are older than my parents. That I'm definitely older than him.
70s, I think. I think they're in their 70s.
Yeah, I think they're in their 70s. I don't know for sure. I can't remember. But my parents aren't even halfway through their 60s yet.
And
I think
that's
dad
more where my
dad
parents
might
are.
dad might
But then you're
be
also
close to
like 8 years
halfway.
older than me, and
I
I'm the
am. Yeah.
oldest.
Yeah.
And our parents are about the same age, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I finished a row. Look at that. You guys, I get to knit a plain row! It's gonna go so fast!
I've detached a sleeve. Just one. Just one. But I need to make some slow progress on this. So I'm happily doing the part that annoys me that I can only do for so long and then I gotta walk away, and that's the ripping. You know? You made all of that fuss just to go back there again.
Liz
I can
says
see
that
you.
my great grandfather and great grandfathers were blacksmiths. Yeah, blacksmiths. I did blacksmithing classes once. They were pretty
No,
great. I'd love to do more of that.
I want to learn the dancing thing where you got the balls on strings and then you light them on fire. That seems
Oh,
safe.
I want to say
I
they're
want to
like
do that.
poi or something.
I think so. I don't dare to
POI.
try to attempt the wordage for it. I want to do that.
Ding. That's
Oh, good. My quiz is
second
done.
sprint done.
And it'll conveniently all go in a reusable Walmart bag to
All right, I'm
store.
gonna remember to start the short break timer. Everybody get
Okay,
up, stretch, hydrate, get snacks.
yell at the cat.
Yep.
Now this can live somewhere and I can pick at it every once in a while until I get it all unattached. Because, oh man, unattached.
Apparently, a lot of Finnish people left Finland due to the Russians taking over.
Oh,
That makes a lot of sense.
it does. All
Also
right.
says, I wish we had more American history. We more or less only had the US. I mean, that's like the important history, right? Yeah.
You live next
Whatever.
door to America and it's a world power. You should know its history.
I know the bits of its history that were relevant to major historical events in Canada, which is to say, not very much of it. I think I've learned more American history from watching YouTube videos.
That does not surprise me.
Extra History, though, excellent channel. Susanna says, my grandparents were traveling, and that is why my dad was born in Winnipeg. They lived in Christchurch, New Zealand. That reminds me that found out a couple years ago that some branch of my dad's family was from Australia. I don't know
I'd
where in
like to
Australia,
visit Australia.
but they were in Australia, and then a couple generations ago, my dad's mum's side of the family was from Australia. And by
New
from
Zealand,
Australia, I mean they were from
Australia,
somewhere in Europe and went to Australia for a few generations and then came to Canada.
Japan. There's places I want to go, things I want to do.
Tracy says, I loved history, hated remembering dates.
I hate remembering dates, and I have a degree in history. One of those ones where it's like, remember da 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 da. I'm like, no, I can't tell you when Thermopylae occurred.
Can tell you what led to it and what happened after it, but when?
Don't ask for a date. Don't ask for a date. The answer's gonna be a blank stare. Should I know? Yes, it's a huge major event in Greek history. Do I? No, no, I do not.
Well, I feel like the what, who, and how, and like all of the other questions are way more important than what precise year did this occur.
You have to start with the precise years. But it's the same with coding. You can't do advanced coding without the basics. And no one's gonna sit there and go, do you know what's super fun to learn intro coding
I mean,
once you're
it's a
at the
little fun.
advanced stage. Once you're at the advanced stage.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah. I can't sit here and go, man, dates and names and places because I don't do that anymore.
Ooh, Liz has a
So for me,
master's
they're
degree
not.
in historic preservation with a minor in history.
Oh,
That's
historic
cool.
preservation's a beautiful field.
I am also
Beautiful
vaguely
field to work
interested
in.
in that, but that would require getting a history degree, which I'm very much not interested in. I don't
What
want to
I
do
should have
that.
done is not stopped at an undergraduate degree. I should have continued on and been a library master's, and I could have worked as a research librarian in historical documentations, which
See,
would
I
have been
would.
my happy place.
That is probably, if computers weren't a thing, that I would have ended up doing something like that.
Yeah, yeah, I would have loved that, but I don't. I didn't maintain visual acuity enough to do it, so no one is going to hire a blind librarian. So before somebody pulls up a corner case, guys, I'm not talking corner cases, I'm talking generalities. I don't want the one person who succeeded to be shown to me. I want a majority percentage of disabled people to be employed, not 1 out of 5,000. That is not a majority percentage. Do not
Yeah.
corner case me. I am not interested in corner cases. I've had people do that before. They're like, well, we've got the one friend. I'm like, no, no, I'm not talking about the one token person who's made it. I want the majority percentage to be people who've made it.
I don't. You
And
want it to. It should be normal that people.
until
Yeah.
we're there, we have not done enough. Full stop.
Susanna was asking about what happened with my Amazon order. It arrived.
You were so distracted. Did you watch this week's podcast? Like your squirrel was worse than usual. Like
I'm
you look
sorry.
out the window like a dozen plus times
But
because
yes,
there's
it arrived.
a bird or a flip of light or the wind changed or the
It's very
but you
excited, okay? I've got little there's little noses, that's the top row, and then there's
you got
the regular
noses in
black
that
eyes in the
kit?
middle row in various sizes, and then the bottom row is they have colored irises. However, if you look
Oh,
very closely, you might notice that the stems of the colored irises on the bottom row are just slightly different
ooh,
than the stems of the eyes in the middle row, which means that the
okay.
washers that came with it, the backings,
Yes.
don't work for
So
the
you gotta
colored
buy
iris eyes. So I need to order some different washers.
washers. Okay, that's not too bad. If the only
Or
thing wrong with the
else,
kit is that,
yeah,
that's
I
not too
mean,
bad.
it's super cheap off of Amazon. So I'm not going to recommend it just based on the backings that come with it don't actually work for all of the eyes. They work fine for most of the eyes. They just don't
Or
work for some
do
of the
the
eyes.
review and give it a medium high because the only reason it didn't get a high review is because they need the secondary washer size.
Yeah, well they have for the really big eyes, they have a set of backings and then they have just like a big bag of one size that's supposed to be for the rest of the eyes, but it doesn't quite work.
Which
Oh, ding,
happens.
short break done.
Okay.
Oh, stretch, stretch, stretch. Oh,
I'm gonna work on a blanket.
I'm gonna keep working on the Stegosaurus sweater, but I'm almost done the color work. Like I'm done the active color work. I have a couple more stripes, and then I'm
Okay, yeah.
splitting for sleeves.
Excellent. I want to conceivably finish a length strip for the jelly roll.
Ooh.
So, but I need a stitch marker for progress marking. Because once I have the first initial length figured out, it'll be a lot
It says, I'm so
easier
happy
for
your eyes came. Yay.
so up your eyes.
All right, I'm going to
Ah,
start the third sprint.
no context tweet right there. I'm so happy
Sprint.
your eyes came.
I mean,
Ah,
I have to order
not
contacts
wrong.
actually when we're done here.
Yeah.
Thanks for the reminder. I have to order contacts when we're done here. I've decided on the sapphire color.
Oh, good.
I'm very sad that the purple color really didn't do anything. I really wanted purple ones.
You really wanted purple ones?
I really wanted purple ones. I always thought it would be really fun to have purple eyes just as like a subtly weird thing that people don't notice right away.
You have very dark eye color. That would be really hard to do.
It's like,
There's
yeah,
nothing
it's the
wrong
darker
with
end of
your eye
blue.
color. There is
No, it's a
nothing
very
wrong
nice
with your eye
blue.
color.
To be perfectly clear, I don't dislike my eye color. It's a very nice blue.
For somebody
I
who's
just thought
like,
it would be
don't you
really
like
fun to have
Diana's
purple.
eyeballs? Diana has very pretty eyeballs.
So I've gone with sapphire, so they're like extra blue. Not like it's like bordering on non-naturally blue, but not quite. They're just like extra blue.
Do do do. What random balls of yarn do I have in here? Ooh, you should
This
work
says
as a
the US is bad on
coach.
teaching world history. I learned more through osmosis. And on learning dates, also said it's like the kings of Denmark. They were either Christian or Frederick. Remembering them was hard.
France has got 14 Louis.
Jude said it's like tax codes. You can look it up. The year is less important as long as you know the what, why, and how it fits in.
However, you have to start with the year because you have to demonstrate memorization and repetition skill sets because they're not teaching you to think in high school or junior high. That's not the point.
No, rote memorization,
Rote memorization is what we teach. So until we
which I
get
was
away
really
from
good at. And so I thought I was smart, and then it was
nope,
such a slap in the face when I got to university and realized I'm not actually that smart. I'm just really good at memorizing stuff.
yeah, rote memorization is what we teach. It's the wrong thing. We shouldn't be teaching rote memorization. That doesn't help anybody. But
Not in
it's
the
what we
modern
teach.
era,
So
no.
not in any era, rote memorization isn't going to help you.
I mean, it was probably more useful before the internet,
Nope.
but it's really not useful now.
Memorization, yes. Should we be forcing everybody on the planet to play games? Yes. That increase memory? Yes. Because people have crappy memories and it's their fault for not doing the work. How do I know? Because my memory should not be stellar. My memory should not be the thing that everybody's like, man, I wish I had your memory. Should not be me. I should not be the baseline. This is above average memory. It should not stop getting on me. I don't want you climbing on top of me. I don't love you anymore. I don't love you anymore.
I
Why are you
memorize
here?
super long poems just for fun, so.
Why are you here? Why? Why are you here?
Lisa
You're
says I love figuring
interrupting
out the
my
puzzles of history
sprintage.
and seeing how it fits together, how things fit together.
You're interrupting my sprintage.
Phaedra, you're interrupting the sprint. You're being a distraction. Distractions aren't allowed during WIP sprints.
She can't hear you. Not that she'd care.
No, I know.
Come here, bug. Oops. We need the cat. Ugh. I need more cord. I need more cord. Cord. You are awkward,
Is
bug.
she happier now that she can get on you and purr?
Yes. The whole not picking her up for 3 or 4 days was not going over well. Get out of my face. I don't want whiskers in my face.
Lisa says, I'm almost finished weaving in all the ends. We'll finish this sprint and then some knitting. Excellent. Lisa
That's
says, I
it.
want to finish this sock.
I was going to knit this sprint, but as you can see, that's going well.
Jude says, I finally sat down to knit a sock, and we don't do rote memorization so much in the UK. We went too far the other way.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There's gotta be a balance between it. You
Yeah.
need memorization, because we are creatures of memorization. Because if we would stop saying things like we knew what they were for sure, could you pick a shoulder? Like, all of a sudden I can't hear you. It's because she's taking my headphones off. We need memorization for some things, and we need to be able to critically think for other things, but we haven't found a balance in the education system to teach both. Which,
Yeah, we'll
we
get there
should.
eventually. We've been too far one way for a while, and then we'll go too far the other way
Or
for
the
a
other way for
while,
a
and then we'll
while.
figure
Yep.
out the balance.
Listen, claws. Ow. No.
And by a while, I mean we'll figure it out in the next 20 to 50 years.
Maybe.
We'll figure it out in the next couple of generations.
Maybe.
Karen's in chat. Hey, I forgot we were whip sprinting today. Yes.
Hey, Karen. Could
Welcome
you
to the third
listen?
whip sprint.
Where Jocelyn does nothing.
Your sprint is cuddling your tiny dictator.
This is not how I would choose to spend my whip sprint. She sat on that shawl for 2 hours.
2 hours?
2 hours. She full on snort napped.
Wow. I mean, so it's hers.
She likes
hers
it.
now. When it's done, it's going on. It's a sleeping space for her.
No, it's being washed and blocked. The ends are being woven in, and it's her mother's, and it'll be hung up. I worked hard on that shawl. I don't want you. You're heavy. Yeah, I know. I need that baby belly band thing. I know. Because if I had it, she could just live in it, and I could be working.
I'm sort of tempted to just like Amazon you one, just because I want to see this.
No. I send things to my sister, and I'm like, here's a ridiculous cat mom thing that I would absolutely own if I could. And every time before I send it, I think to myself, this is how I ended up with an electronic flopping fish. This is what did it. I sent Sherry a link and said, isn't this ridiculous? And now I own one. Because my sibling bought it for me. Because she went, oh no, your cat needs this.
Well, yeah.
Ugh. I think the last one I sent her was the cat litter box that cleans itself.
I
Dreams. My dreams.
think we all need that. All of us with cats need that.
Everybody who owns a cat needs a cat litter box that cleans itself. I send her other weird cat things all the time. What she loves are those stupid little plastic springs, little plastic coils, and mouses, stuffed mouses. Though no word of a lie, if you ever run across, you can get the cat toys with the so it comes on a stick and then the toy hangs on a string on the end, an elastic
Yeah.
string. You can find ones that aren't like yarn because a lot of them mimic fiber yarn feathers, which I
Mm.
won't get her because I don't want her playing with my craft stuff. The hardest one to find is the one with the balls on the end, where it's a
Mm.
lightweight ball that bounces around. She destroys them. She's destroyed both I've been able to find. The second one only took her a week because I can wedge them into things. And
Mm.
then she's got an at height toy that she can play with whenever she's in the mood to play. But it takes her less than a week to destroy the things at this point. Because she's figured out if she pulls it down and she can chew through the rope, then she can get the ball, and the ball will move away and stop bouncing. So it becomes like a focus for us, which is great for the human because the human's left alone for a week. It's wonderful. But I don't want her doing that with something that on the end mimics fiber or yarn or feathers. Like I don't want that
So you
correlation
need a
made.
ball on a chew-proof string.
There's no way to get a chew proof string. I need a ball on a string attached to a stick.
Well, if you
They're
put it
really
on a
hard
metal
to find.
chain, that might. Or would she just hurt her teeth on that?
Should just hurt her teeth.
Uh,
That's why they're because I don't we don't need that happening. We've already
no.
started the process of trying to teach her to accept teeth brushing. Woof.
Good luck. I know
It's
how
not
well she does
fun.
with toe trimming or nail
She
trimming.
doesn't. She doesn't. She hates getting
No,
her nails trimmed. She hates
I
being
know.
brushed. She hates being bathed. Does it happen? Yes, on a regular basis for all of these things. Right now, she's still pretty good with because she's not really into treats. So there's a couple of greeny dental treats, and they're like salmon flavored or catnip flavored. Uh,
Mm.
my cat, right? Catnip flavored or fish flavored. She will eat those, and they're dental treats, so they help clean up the plaque and stuff. But cat care. I need to put you down. You weigh too much for me to support all of you on one arm. She's not even looking at me. Like we're fully stretched out again. Up. You need to go down now.
Lisa
Headbutt.
says this COVID made me want to knit a shawl slash blanket.
Go down.
Yeah, you deserve something cozy. You should knit something cozy or crochet
Absolutely.
or
What are we doing?
being sick is a good reason to cast on whatever you want.
Absolutely. Now I can get started on what I wanted to do.
She also says that Phaedra sounds a bit like a dog.
She does. I'm not sure she knows she's a cat.
Our cat growing up used to play fetch.
She won't do that.
He loved the dollar store pom poms.
Oh, yeah. But the dollar store pom poms are great for a lot of things. I annoyed her to the part where she tried to bite me, so I put her down.
Our cat also liked water to the point where he'd occasionally hop in the bathtub and get cat hair all in the bathtub that was meant for my younger
Humans?
sibling. Yeah. So at some point, my mom had to instill a fear of, or at least a dislike of water because he kept hopping in the bath and having to have to drain the bath, wash all the cat hair out, rerun the bath. So at one point, she just pushed him in, and he didn't like water so much after that.
She found the flopping fish. It's currently in the office.
Liz says, my cats have me trained to give them a treat around 9 p.m. They come and stare at me until I move.
Yep. I'm fine being owned by a deity. It's fine. I'm okay worshiping a god. We just
As long as you know
occasionally fight
that's what
back.
the relationship is.
I am aware of what my relationship is with my cat. Yeah. It's just occasionally the deity gets a anti-dander wipe she's not impressed about. Which will happen today, given the volume of fur on my face right now. You get an anti-dander wipe today, you're not going to be impressed. But this head priestess has figured out when nap time is, so she knows to attack you when you're sleeping, so you get woken up and
Oh.
anti-dander wiped. It's the fastest way to catch her. Because then she gets annoyed and leaves the place that she's sleeping, not knowing that I have already anti-dander wiped all of the nap zones, and I get her nap zone that she's currently in last, and then I anti-dander wipe the zone she's been napping into. Horrible human.
Yep, just the worst.
She got tuna juice 2 days ago when I made tuna salad sandwiches. She's fine.
Well. Hmm.
And she'll probably get a little bit of fried bologna next week when I get some bologna.
See, I've never tried this fried bologna thing, and I feel like I need to because apparently it's of cultural significance in several places.
Oh, well, I grew up eating fried bologna. I just like it because there's a nostalgic kick to it for me.
Never did a fried bologna. I imagine it's a thicker cut of bologna,
No, no. I just use regular sliced bologna.
like sandwich
Cut it
sliced
up.
bologna.
Yeah, sandwich sliced bologna. I just cut it up and fry it.
Huh.
But step one, day before, boil potatoes. Stick potatoes in fridge so you can have twice fried potatoes with your fried bologna.
Ah.
Because then you take the cold potatoes out of the fridge and you fry them in some butter or margarine in the other pan while you're frying your bologna. Then all of a sudden, breakfast just happens. And if you're smart, you've boiled enough potatoes to make potato salad.
That does sound good. You're making me really hungry. I was smart and brought snacks
I
for these WIP sprints,
feel bad about that, but
like I'm like I really want some of this fried stuff now. I have leftover mushroom basil fried rice.
nice. Oh, that sounds good.
We went to is it a Vietnamese restaurant?
I don't
I
know. I
don't
wasn't
actually
there.
know. I believe it's a Vietnamese restaurant. Anyway, and I got some mushroom basil fried rice, and so I still have like half of that, and I still have like half of the garlic chili tofu from the other day, so I think that might be my dinner.
I had a Mr. B. There was no leftover garlic chili tofu. That's not how that works.
Fair enough.
Bottomless pit, that man. Which is fine. He compensates. He brings things for foodage. Mostly because I message him every couple of times and it's your turn. I am not dating you. You do not eat for free here, sir. We are friends, which means we split that cost. Was super good. Last time he bought lettuce and some buns and chopped veggies and chips, and we had and I made a well, I actually got him to make a chickpea sandwich spread.
Ooh.
So you imagine me trying to do that. I don't measure nothing. I don't measure nothing when it comes to those. So I was like, I don't know. I don't measure. And I warned, I'm like, I don't measure. So this is going to be like the most haphazard series of instructions you will get today, and it will not make you happy. And I was right, it did not. Uh so start with a can of mush chickpeas and I rinse them. I just let the aquafaba go, guys. I didn't try to argue with him about saving the chickpea juice. I just did not want to set that precedence. So I just rinsed the chickpeas. And then it was like, oh, fork mashing. That's not the most efficient way to mash chickpeas. It isn't, but what I have is a fork. So that's what we use in
Mm-hmm.
this house. So then we did that. And then it was like, well, how much mayo? I don't know. I don't measure how much mayo goes in. I don't measure how much mayo goes in. I put in like 2 teaspoons to start, like 2 heaping tablespoons, and then I just see if it needs more.
Yeah, sounds like a perfectly sound measurement system to me.
How much mustard? I don't know. I give it a good squirt, and then I put the mustard away, and that's it. That's what it is. So it occurred to me that at the start of each color change for this jelly roll blanket, I have been taking the scrap that I'm using and I start by making 2 small granny squares and attaching them to a granny square blanket. So what technically is going to happen is I'll be finished 2 blankets at the same time.
Mm.
2 very long-term scrappy projects. But since I'm starting a color, actually, I have to start with more crochet. More crochet work. At least I'm not ripping. Actually making progress at this
There's
point.
actual progress happening.
Actual
Elisa says
progress
you're
happening.
determined to get us all hankering for fried bologna.
Well, it's yes. Is the simple answer. Well, it's the same as like when you come home and you bring home like bacon and breakfast sausages. If you break those out into portions before you freeze the packages, and you've got things like eggs and oh gosh, she's licking my toast. Got things like eggs in your fridge or leftover potatoes from like the night before in your fridge. All of a sudden, you can have these breakfasts that everybody talks about only having time to make on the weekend in less than 10 minutes on a weekday. Because you're not making the whole package of bacon, you're making a portion of bacon and you're making a portion of potatoes and you're reheating the potatoes, you're not even cooking them, so they don't take that long. And you're doing it with like, and you have an egg on the go. You have breakfast in about the same amount of time it makes to make your damn toast in the morning anyway.
It's almost like food prep works.
It's like food prep works. So, you do that, you start your food, you start your coffee. By the time your coffee's done, you have a Saturday morning breakfast ready to go.
Hot breakfast is nice.
And a hot breakfast is really nice. There's nothing wrong with the occasional bowl of cereal. I don't do it very often because I have to buy the very expensive cereals. As in, they were $7 before inflation, expensive things of cereal to get corn free, so I don't do it much because I don't think it's worth it. When I can make a hot breakfast, essentially using leftovers out of the fridge. And the longest I spend on making anything prep wise is putting together a soup in the morning.
I'm slowly getting better at excuse me, I'm slowly getting better at food prep. Very slowly.
Oh, it takes a long time because again, it's an ingrained like it's a habit. You have to do it long enough that it becomes second nature. Like I don't even think about
Yeah,
it. When I make
I'm
potatoes,
working on it.
I make potatoes for that meal plus 2 more. So I'm not making potatoes again for a couple of days. When I make rice, I don't make rice for one. I make rice like I'm a family of 4. But it took a long time to get there.
Lisa says, for me, I get too nervous for breakfast. Weekend breakfasts are better for me hot because of nerves. Interesting. Just like an anxiety thing?
Possibly. Why not? We get anxious about everything. That makes sense.
It's fair. I've gotten in the habit of not having breakfast for like until like 2 hours after I get up because that's when I'm actually hungry. I'll just
That's
have
also
like coffee or
perfectly
tea or
fine.
something in the morning.
Yeah. If you are a don't eat first thing in the morning person, like it nauseates you or it stresses you out, don't do it. Don't do it. Eat when your body says it's time to start.
Definitely used to eat first thing in the morning, but I think that was mostly out of requirement for scheduling.
Yeah.
And yeah, last few months I've just been like actually listening to my body, and like yeah, turns out I'm not actually interested in food for about 2 hours. Hot drink, yes. Doesn't have to be coffee, just has to be hot.
I want coffee so bad.
And
I'm out of coffee. I'm out of coffee and I don't have money to buy more coffee.
oh
It's
no,
distressing.
no.
There are no coffee beans in this house, and I'm very upset by that. Um, it took me a long time to figure out that I hate big meals at the end of the day.
Hmm.
I don't like them.
The
I
modern
don't.
Western thing of dinner being the biggest meal of the day.
I just caused a lot of diet. It caused a lot of stomach issues for me.
Hmm.
When I finally started listening and finally let it go and flipped it, I just ate as much as I wanted in the morning and stopped eating the heavy meals in the evening. I felt so much better. Felt so much better. I sleep better. I think it just works a lot better for me. A lot better. So instead of like a big dinner meal, I'll have a small dinner meal, or not even a full dinner meal. I'll have snacks, like I'll graze for a couple hours in the evening, cut veggies, like whatever happens, just be in the fridge, right? Like small, half a Diana portion at a time. So this is how we portion things out.
For
And I feel so much
reference,
better.
a Diana portion is slightly more than what you'd feed a toddler.
Yes. A Jocelyn portion is a perfectly average home portion. A The brothers portion, the Ben portion, is restaurant size or larger. How we
Yeah,
worked
same.
out
Mr.
portion.
Diana's is like 2.5 Dianas.
Yeah, Mr. Diana's 2.5 Dianas. Uh, we have been friends for way too long that we've done that to
Also,
ourselves.
ding,
Because
third
we
whip
would,
sprint done.
oh good. We would talk about where we wanted to go for dinner. We're like, well, how hungry are you? Are you like Diana hungry? Are you like Mr. B hungry? Are you like Are you Mr. Diana hungry? Are you like Jocelyn hungry? Like Mr. Diana and Jocelyn are like right in that realm of normal hungry range. So I would determine what restaurants we would go to. If we were all Mr. B hungry, we weren't going for sushi.
No, that would be way too expensive.
That'd be crazy. Like we would do something else. But if most
Start the
of us
timer
were
for a
sitting
long
at
break.
like absolutely, most of us were sitting at like Mr. Diana's, Mr. Diana or Jocelyn, well then we would go for like burgers and fries because that would work. But if we were all like, we're like a Diana, then we would just get a snack and move on with our day because we weren't hungry. It wasn't
Yep.
time. So, just,
American restaurant portion? Yes.
yes,
Well, Canadian, I think, is still a little bit smaller than American.
yes, it is.
Little.
Yes, it is. And he will eat a whole Canadian restaurant meal and then part of mine.
So then, yes, I guess American restaurant.
Only if he's hungry. If he's
Crappy
like,
Chemist
oh, I
says,
could go for food, we could do sushi. But if he likes to, he goes, I'm hungry, we can't do sushi.
I have to have breakfast. My body gets mad at me if I don't eat often enough. Yeah, that's
That's
totally valid.
a thing.
Oh,
Where if my
I have
mom
a ponytail.
eats,
What's going on?
if my mom eats before she's been up for 2 or 3 hours, it makes her sick because her body can't. It's not an option for her.
Yeah, I can do a lot of things to my body and it'll be like it'll grumble, but that'll be about it. So I have to actually like listen and pay attention.
Look, I got
Cuz
part
like,
of a square done after the cat got off me.
hey, so I won't outright have problems, but Lisa says, "Oh shoot, I've got to eat now so I can take breakfast meds at noon." Sigh. I'm sorry if we distracted you.
It happens.
Lisa says, "I noticed the Americans take a lot of leftovers at restaurants." Well, they're like ridiculous. They're like three people's worth of food. Like an American restaurant portion is like three
It's a lot
meals
of
for me.
it's a lot of food.
Even if I'm like
It's a lot
absolutely
of food.
starving, it's still two meals.
It's a lot of food. Even for me, it's a lot of food. I love it though. I was quite delighted to do that stuff. All right. Well, I didn't get to work on the jelly roll. I'm gonna blame the cat. No, nothing says I
Okay, we
can't.
still
Just
have
leave it and work on it next
seven
sprint.
and a half minutes in our long break. So everybody, this is our long break. So this is a good time for bathroom breaks, getting more water, getting that project that was in the other room that you remembered about during the last sprint. I don't
True
know.
story. I'm hoping I annoyed the cat enough she's gone away. I am. I'm going to continue this jelly roll blanket when our long break is done. A little bit of work goes a long way. Oh, back.
Oh, hydration. Hydration, good.
Yeah, I definitely over isolated. You know what that means? I've just justified an Epsom salt bath after this
Ooh.
because that'll help my muscles relax.
So I need to acquire more hydration.
Okay.
So I'm going to do that. I'm going to mute
Okay.
myself.
Okay.
Well, because
Uh,
this microphone picks up sounds and all over the house. So I'll be back in 6 minutes and 20 seconds. Hopefully less.
takes you six. It shouldn't
No,
take
it's
you
not going to.
6 minutes to
It's not
get a
going to.
cup of
I'll be back in
water.
like 3 minutes.
Oh my word. That's crazy. Guys, guys, I need to sweep my floor. I need to sweep my floor. I haven't been able to do the sweepy motion, and now I can do the sweepy motion. I sweep my floors usually twice a week. I haven't swept my floor in 7 days. This is not good. This is not good. It's gonna be so dirty. Gross. If I'm honest, I should sweep the floors. I should move the furnitures. Oh, I should Murphy oil the hardwoods. Like I should do a full proper floor clean. That's a double sweep plus a mop, then Murphying the hardwoods. I'm gonna take a chunk. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. Take today off, do all of that tomorrow, and make today's adult chore garbages. Take the garbages out today, do a huge floor cleaning tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah, I think that'll do. It's the cat hair, guys. I'm always on the hunt for cat hair. I'm on the hunt to collect cat hair, destroy cat hair, get rid of cat hair. And human hair. Always with the human hair. But if I do that, then on Monday, I can do the large awkward wash load, which is, the couch cover, the blankets, the yeah, all the extras that accumulate for laundry stuff. Otherwise, I'd have to be doing something boring like paperwork. Who wants to do paperwork on a Monday? Nobody wants to do paperwork on a Monday. Ugh. Or do I ditch all of it in video game? There are options. Options, people. There are options. What I should be working on is the Endless Summer Adventure cardigan. That's what I should be working on. What did I work on this week? The Edwardian shawl. Don't know what it is. It's done, guys. Like it's an FO for tomorrow's recording. We're finished. I need to weave in my ends, wash and block. Like that is the stage we're at. So I will probably weave in ends tonight when I'm sitting down on the couch. And then we will, from there, wash and block after recording tomorrow so that I'm going to try to pour liquid at a distance. This should go great. This should go great. I bought pop, so I'm pouring some gingy pop into a cup to drink out of. No, I can't see the level of ginger ale, so I had to free pour by sound. That's how that worked. Ooh, okay. Yeah. We're gonna go. Have an Epsom salt soak after this. Take the evening to weave in my ends and work on the Endless Summer Adventure card again. I gotta find a new book series to read that I can track down. Blabberblats. Blabberblats. And I need to try that app that turns research papers into audiobooks. Because there's some research papers I'd like to read for fun. For fun, guys. I am aware I'm weird. And do that. And catch up on my podcast because I'm behind on some of my I'm behind on I'm behind on Gone Medieval, I'm behind on Betwixt the Sheets, I'm behind on the Ancients, I'm behind on my history podcasts is what I'm behind on. I'm behind on the knitting podcasts. I have been in such a Alona Andrews kick that I've just been consuming every bit of Alona Andrews I've been able to get my hands on. The library doesn't really have audiobooks for her. So, and I've listened to all the ones that Scribd have for the month, which I have a subscription for. And I don't have spare Audible credits at the moment. So, but hopefully in the next couple months, I'm able to read through all of Alona Andrews' back catalog and finish it. It's hard. It's hard. I don't have money for coffee beans. I certainly don't have money to buy books. I certainly do not have money to buy books. I really shouldn't have a Scribd subscription. I just can't part with it because it's one of the few things that let me listen to audiobooks. Was it Amazon? Audible had a romance one where you could pay an extra fee, and I paid the extra fee, but you could like loan them out like library books, romance novels. So you were allowed so many from their unlimited range. They're older romances and older other things, right? But mostly romances. And you could have like up to 7 in your library at any one point in time, but you could stream it or download it into your library, listen to it, return it, and get another book on the Audible database. Not
That's
as
nifty.
many as Audible, but they had like I didn't run out. Like I was so upset when they canceled it because there were so many more romance novels that I hadn't made it to yet. So like I was blowing through 7 or 8 romance books a month on that alone. But they don't do that. They do unlimited like things for ebooks, but not audiobooks. And I'm just like
Hmm.
makes me so mad. I'm like, why can't I have it on audiobook? Why can't we have an audiobook version? And I don't care if you charge $7.99 or $9.99 for the ebook, but you want to charge like 14 for the audio one, but it's the same
Ding.
format as the ebook unlimited. I'd pay. I'd happily pay. And Scribd sucks. Sucks. Sucks so bad. Sucks so bad.
Why? What?
It
Just the
doesn't
selection?
it doesn't have complete series. It'll only let you to listen to so many books in a series in the month, and then you have to wait till the next month before the next book becomes available.
Why?
So you have to stay with them probably. They have got a lot of extra content that's not enjoyable. It's just not. It's not. You don't pay for Audible for the Audible podcasts. You pay for the credit. I just not happy with it. I
Mm.
keep it because it's my only freaking option. I just hate that it's an option. Just like you are a poor option. It's like Goodreads. You have a Goodreads account. because it's really the only viable one. Or if in my case, you've been on Goodreads for so long, the idea of moving that much catalog over to something else is no. Is no.
Last year I moved over to Storygraph. Is that what it's called?
I think so, yeah.
Storygraph. I am now 100% on Storygraph. That's what I've been
Yeah.
tracking everything on.
Yeah. The idea of moving a decade's plus worth of Goodreads content.
There is CSV export and import, and it's pretty good. That's what I used.
Guys, I can't even get my phone data transferred without stuff going sideways.
Fair point.
All I did was got a new phone. I got a Google Pixel. All it did was transfer over my Spotify account to the new phone. That's it. Doesn't sound complicated. I still can't get songs on my liked playlist because your first one is songs you like. You put the little heart on. I have a dozen or so songs on there that have no heart. I've never hearted them. I've actually manually added them to the liked song list and removed them from the liked song list more than once. I still can't get them to get off the liked song list and go live in the playlist they're supposed to go live in.
Sorry, I'm just watching a squirrel have like a freak out around a tree.
So it's not uncommon for your face to look sideways and look at things. It's just this past week's podcast was aggressive with the squirrel.
I'm sorry, I was really excited about the eyes. No, the squirrel was just like freaking out,
having a
going
moment
around and around the tree, and I'm like, what are you doing?
I poured ginger ale and I talked about what I have to do for cleaning. I have no idea what chat's up to.
Falling out of the tree. It's having such a freak out. What the heck? Have you ever seen a squirrel fall out of the tree? Because, like, I feel like that's what's about to happen.
Possible. And I'm sure chat would love to tell you about it.
I think it did just fall out of the tree.
I wouldn't be shocked.
All right. I'm on my last stripe, and then I'm splitting for sleeves this sprint.
Got it. I'm going to continue working on the crochet granny squares because I'd like to pick up the jelly roll this time around.
This is sprint number 4. We're going to get started. Hope everybody's ready. I'm rejuvenated. I'm motivated. I'm also delighted. After my needle breakage incident of the other night,
You broke a needle?
Yeah, oh, did you... I broke a needle. The Stegosaurus sweater ate my wooden knitting needles. Like, it just full on snapped in half.
Guess they were hungry?
Yeah. So this necessitated... turns out I had a very long Chowgu cord, but I had to liberate the needles from my shawlography project to put on this cord. And after all that,
I'm still counting.
Because when when the needle broke, obviously a bunch of stitches fell off of the broken needle, and like 20 or 30 stitches were off the needle. But after I picked everything back up, I'd actually only dropped 1 stitch by 1 row by some miracle.
God, that's great.
And now I have Chowgus on a nice long cord that I can almost try on the sweater. It doesn't quite go around my shoulders. This cord isn't quite long enough, but it's plenty long enough for the size of the sweater actually is now. Like, I could actually hold up the sweater and show it off, if you notice. And you could actually see multiple stegosauruses.
Oh my god. How long did I say put it on a longer cord?
Well, I had put it on a longer cord. I'd transferred it onto a longer cord. But then the needles broke and I didn't have any other wooden... Yeah, there was a process, there was a thing, there might have been some swearing, and so I pulled out my stitch markers that have the NSFW words on them. Not safe for work. Not safe for podcast.
Yeah.
Right, yes, start the countdown. Thank you.
Like how chat reminds you, push the buttons.
Push the buttons.
I don't see anything.
Yeah. Well, because I think it's just going to be a quick thing, and then I'm going to start the timer. But
Story
yeah,
time is
it's
never a quick thing.
story time is never a quick thing. Anyway,
Never.
I pulled out my not safe for podcasting stitch markers, so there's a couple of inappropriate words here towards the end of the row, and it's bringing me so much joy.
Good.
Also, I have a few more scattered on my desk, and those are also bringing me joy. There's a dinosaur, and a couple other words, and it amuses me every time I look down. Also says, I've finished weaving in ends and walked around my living room to help my knee. It hurts when I'm
Good.
sitting too much. That's fair. The one thing about this chair, I love this weird chair that I'm sitting in, but it allows me to sit in stupid positions for way too long. So this timer system is actually really good for making me get up and move so I don't damage my knee.
You're
Because
the one who bought
otherwise
the
I
chair that let you do that.
because I can't. I love sitting cross-legged in chairs. I don't care what the chair is. I want to sit cross-legged in the chair. And I couldn't do that in my nice fancy ergonomic office chair. It forced you to sit nice and ergonomic to the point where it was distracting me how badly I wanted to sit cross-legged, and I couldn't. So this chair is way better for my mental focus because I can sit however I darn well feel like. And so my focus abilities are great. It is perhaps not the best for my knees. So we'll see how this works in the long term, but short term it's been fantastic.
I look forward to your chiropractic appointments in a couple of years.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, good. She's gone to the top of her cat tree where she belongs.
2 inches until my toes, says Liz.
Oh,
Go, go,
excellent.
go. You can totally do that in 22 minutes. I actually don't know. Depends how fast you knit, I suppose.
I worked on some
That can
sock knitting
definitely
this
get done
week.
today. That's exciting.
While I
People
was
are
editing, I
finishing
sock knitted.
things.
Finishes would be amazing. What am I doing? I'm working on a super long-term project that's going to take years to complete because I refuse to force myself to only work on a blanket. I did pull down some other whips, but I wasn't sure how many WIP sprints we were going to do today.
We usually do 5 or 6, depends how much chatting we do in between breaks.
It's true. It's true.
People are helping me be a little more better with the timers this time, so we might get 6 in.
Okay.
It's only like 3 for me. We've been on for 2.25 hours.
Oh, that's not too bad. We're doing good then. This is the last round for this square. Then I have to do a second square, then I can join to the jelly roll. So even if I just get the squares done and I get it joined to the jelly roll, that's a good start.
Lisa asks, don't you have 3 blankets?
I have more than 3 blankets. All the go. Because of course I do.
Just 2 actively right now?
I've got the cotton bedspread, the acrylic quilt, the jelly roll, the scrappy jelly roll, and the scrappy memories crochet. Oh, and my niece's graduation present, but that I don't actually have to finish for another year or two, so technically 5 blankets in my whips.
I have no blankets. Did one of those once. Took too long.
I enjoy the long termness of it. Like I enjoy the finished product, but I definitely have learned from the couch throws and stuff that I've done that I really enjoy not having a deadline. That I prefer being able to just, when I'm in the mood, pick it up and work on it and leave it alone for months if I'm not interested.
It's fair. Also asks, is your sister's blanket finished? And what about mine? Or hers?
I have to finish my sister's. I've got it set aside, but I want Aaron to double check the black for me. And I've got to get started on Asa's this fall or winter whenever I've done the MCAL background work. So it literally says finish MCAL, and then the next item on the master to do list for me is start Asa's blanket. So, yes, with a caveat.
It's coming up on the to do list.
Yeah. It's the next big project after the MCAL. It would have been started now, but someone talked me into an MCAL. Wonder who did that.
I'm sure I did so much talking into.
It's not hard to bend my rubber arm. It's not.
I'm
It's
pretty
not
sure the
hard to.
idea was presented, and I said something to the effect of, yeah, that sounds fun.
Yep, and then I ran with it, which is normally what happens.
So much persuasion was required. That there was a low DC there,
Super low.
to put it in D&D
Hell,
terms.
you could have a -2 modifier and you still would have made the DC.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a DC of like 5.
Yep. It's not hard to talk me into things. It's never been hard to talk me into things, guys. Heck, I tucked
I almost get
myself
to
into
break
an
my contrast
Edwardian shawl
color.
capelet because of a YouTube tutorial.
Sorry, what about capelet tutorial? What?
The Edwardian shawl thing came about because I was watching just vintage crochet tutorials because I wanted to see what her style was like to see if I liked it or not. Answer is I do. Because I started a project.
Yep. I still really want to make a crochet dress.
Oh, so bad. But I want to make a crochet dress out of fingering weight yarn. Even if I think blankets take a long time. Uh, yeah. I still want to make a lingerie dress. Keep putting that project off too. Why? Because I'm not ready to sew that much insertion lace. That's why.
Is
That's why.
anybody ever ready to sew that much insertion lace?
No one is prepared. For anybody who's like, oh, what now?
I thoroughly enjoy watching videos about that, but I have no desire to try it myself.
Oh, gods, I want to make one so much. I also want to make a medieval kernel, so that's fine. We can't, don't trust me. And that for, yeah, if I make a medieval costume, it will be entirely hand sewed. So, take even longer. Uh, is it would be an Edwardian or Victorian? They would make summer dresses called lingerie dresses. They're super sheer, lightweight dresses because they went over layers of petticoats and chemises and stuff, so it's fine. But like 90% of the dress, I'm over exaggerating, it's probably like 75% of the dress, is insertion lace. Strips of lace sewn together to make an Edwardian outfit, Victorian dress, skirt, shirt combo thing. I can't commit, but I want one. I want one, which means I have to. 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 But also,
More and
oh
more,
gods,
I'm liking the idea of hand sewing
I
something.
enjoy.
There's something about using a sewing machine where I'm just like, I
Eh.
don't want to mess around with a sewing machine.
Oh, it had some.
But the little bit of hand sewing I've done was incredibly soothing in the same way that I find knitting to be.
Yeah,
So I
I love
think
hand sewing.
I should pick a small to medium sewing project and hand sew it. Like I
Yeah,
might try hand sewing Bernadette Banner's pirate shirt one day, not this day.
that's not a small project.
That's kind of it's maybe that's like a goal because like
Okay. A small project is like linen sachets for
okay.
your like because you can make linen sachets that you could fill with lavender that you could put in your yarn to help prevent moths or
Yeah.
in your drawers with your clothes and stuff so your clothes smell nice. Like that's a small project.
Okay. Okay, like a medium project then, because
Okay.
I did a couple, one or two masks at the beginning of the pandemic,
Yeah.
and
That
I feel
would
like
be
those are
like
similarly small.
medium to largest would be pirate shirts, um, circle skirts. Like you could do an elastic circle skirt
Oh yeah.
entirely
Circle
hand
square
sewed.
skirt, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because that's two side seams, and you could do it so with pockets, and you could do that entirely by hand. And if you elasticize the waistband,
Easy.
you're not making buttonholes for lacing or anything else like that. So like you're cutting out a couple of steps that would make it more complicated. Then all
Actually,
those
I want to
are
make
are long straight
one of those
seams.
skirts that like it ties. It has ties.
You
The
mean a
adjustable skirts
classic
that the
historical adjustable
yeah
skirt? Yeah, yeah, that one.
yeah
You could entirely do that by hand because they were traditionally done by hand.
exactly. So
And
I
all
kind
that
of I want to make one
is
of those.
that'd be actually really good because that's a lot of practice with like a running back stitch and a back stitch. Like that would be amazing
I know how to do
practice.
those. I know what those
Yep.
are. Oh, Jude's off for
So,
terrible 90s movies. Enjoy the rest of the
ooh,
sprints. Enjoy your terrible
enjoy.
90s movies. That sounds
That sounds
great.
great.
Okay, finished. I have
And you
finished the
have
chart. Okay, I
fabric,
have to
don't
read
you?
instructions now.
Haven't you have fabric that you never used?
I do. I have to find it. Actually, I think I know where it is.
So you could totally do one of those skirts.
Guys, I've detached my contrast color. Look at that.
Uh-oh.
Look at the
Uh-oh.
detached.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-huh.
Might be on the body work.
Okay. If
See,
additional yoke
now I
depth
want to
is
change my
desired.
plans.
Is additional yoke depth desired? Hang on, let me.
Figure that out.
This is
See,
the
now
back,
I
so
want
let me
to
turn that
ditch my
around.
evening plans and do some hand sewing tonight.
I do not require additional yoke depth. This yoke is sufficiently deep.
Oh, good.
I know you can't. It is. I
You've
know this
made
is like
enough
a terrible
sweaters
way.
that you know.
I
You've made
know.
enough
It's
sweaters that
also
you know.
deeper than the sleeves on this relaxed, oversized shirt, so
Good.
we're good.
You're fine.
No additional depth required.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna do some hand sewing tonight. Change my plans. I was gonna weave in ends. Totally talked me out of it.
Also says
Look, I did a
still
square.
talking about yay square. Still talking about sewing skirts. Been a few years since that started. Yeah, I know. I know.
She's got the fabric, and if she's more
I
interested
do
in
have the
hand
fabric.
sewing,
And
try hand
blah blah
my
blah.
blue
So
rose skirt,
continue to
like
spinning for
that's
sleeves.
the skirt that used to be like the dress that I wore to your wedding that I made into a skirt. I just hand sewed my waistband for it. That's all I did.
I'm sure I can do it.
I
It's
put the
just a matter of
elastic
like
in.
sitting down and doing it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I have deadlines at the moment, so I can't sit
Yes, you
down and do
do.
that.
Yes, you does. How much time do we have left in this sprint?
We have 11 minutes, just under.
Oh, I'm not gonna make another granny square, but whatever. We're gonna try.
Okay, I need to knit 58 stitches. Wait.
I know I was like, I should do the Nightshade Society sweater as one of my sprints. Then I realized, ha ha ha, no, it needs instructions and charts right now. No, I do not. No, I do not. Oh God, tomorrow. Once we're done recording tomorrow, I am nothing but secret crafting and advent crafting till Thursday.
Lisa says,
Wednesday.
isn't weaving an ends hand sewing?
It is. It is. Guys, I've got sweaters that just need pockets. They just need pockets sewn onto them. And then I look at the temperatures outside and I go, I don't need to do that right now. I'm not wearing a worsted or chunky weight sweater anytime soon. And we are a very lovely low 20s today, which I will happily take. As we go back up to the awful high 20s, low 30s soon enough. 2 and 3. I walked to the farmer's market on Thursday and I bought cucumbers. Somehow I resisted the urge for the Brazilian treats. I don't know how I did that. I didn't have money. That's how I didn't do
Oh,
that.
I understand why I can't read this. I forgot to highlight a number. Okay, I'm so confused. I'm like, why is it telling me to put stitches that I'm pretty certain are on the back of the sweater because it's got short rows onto a stitch holder, but that's not what it's telling me to do. That's not what it's telling me to do.
Do you know how hard it is to make clear instructions for a sweater?
Well,
Oh
especially when it's in multiple
my.
sizes, and yeah, no, I. That's my bad for not reading carefully enough and missing a highlight. No. I knit 58 stitches and then I slip 76 onto a stitch holder.
Okay.
That makes more sense and it lines up with the other instructions for knitting across the front of the sweater and then putting some more on. Yeah. Okay, this lines up. This makes more sense. So I'm still knitting 58 stitches, is what's happening right now. Solid purple knitting. I'm so excited, you guys. Oh, I'm splitting for the sleeves.
So today's Saturday. We have to record tomorrow. You have to be done on Monday.
Yeah,
You need to be done 3/4 of a body before we record tomorrow.
I know.
Holy schnickerdoodles.
Oh, I know. Don't worry. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14,
I will not message you till Sunday afternoon.
15,
I suspect you'll be up late tonight.
I might be at that. In fact, I'm going to use another bad word stitch marker to count here. Because that's the mood.
That is super fair. I get up in the morning and you're like, let's record before I go to bed. Ooh, boy.
I'm fully planning to be up very late, possibly all night. Tired Diana tomorrow equals fun podcast.
Yeah.
It'll be something.
Because she'll be overly tired and caffeinated. It will be a glorious hot mess for editing Jocelyn to deal with in the future. I feel like editing Jocelyn's going to kick my butt.
I'm a little bit tempted to just record my late night knitting session.
There is an Instagram thing for late night knits.
That is true.
That is something I have done.
So if I record it, I believe there's silence detection cutout on the editing software where it'll just like
Yes.
auto cut out silences. So I can record like 4 hours and it'll cut it down to the few minutes where I'm actually talking.
Yeah.
I
It's
might
a good
try
way of
that.
doing it. Give it a shot. See what
3, 4,
happens.
6,
Fiddle with
8,
things.
10, 12,
Try
13,
a thing.
14.
She does a late night Instagram, and I joined, and I'm in the chat.
I
I
mean, I
would
might
too.
also do that.
I would too.
I just have to be respectful of Mr. Diana trying to sleep next door. So we'll see. I might actually, if I take myself down to the basement.
Just do it on your phone.
Yeah. If I do it live, I'll have to do it not in this room.
Yeah.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Four, 5,
Sirens in the
6,
background. Can
7.
you tell it's a summer weekend?
Okay, so wait, so that's 48.
2, 3. I'm sure it's helping you with me counting.
52, 53,
Like a
54,
lot. I should stop.
56.
I can't see this yarn at all. So every round I'm forced to count each double crochet in my head so that I don't put too many in here.
Okay, here we go. And now I'm
That would be bad.
slipping 76 stitches to stitch holder or waste yarn. I think I conveniently have.
I need to look up some prices to sell some stuff on Facebook Marketplace. I need to finish filling in that website thing that tracks projects and life and stuff. Notions? Is that what it's
Notion?
called?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm using it. I don't remember what it's called. Diana sent me the link for it. I absolutely have been enjoying putting in all the information, but I'm not done putting in everything. So once I have it put in, I can then schedule it.
Does anybody know what I did with my other 3.75 millimeter needle? Oh,
Nope.
it's attached. It's attached to the cord. Never mind. It's right here.
You're good?
Literally in my other hand. We're good. It's all good. This
Guys, it's a sign.
bodes well.
Tomorrow's gonna be great. Would anybody care if I have laundry hanging in the background drying tomorrow?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't care.
I wanna do a load of laundry. But I started by hang drying in the tub, right? But that can take like 24 to 48 hours. So I have an over the door hanger to finish the process. But it lives on that door. It's in my background. But I want to do towels, and towels take forever to hang dry. So like if I start them in the tub tonight, then they'd be transferred to the hanging rack tomorrow. Motorcycles. I don't know if the sound picked that up or not.
Nah.
It was aggressive motorcycling on my street. But then it means like this chunk of background will just be a view of hanging towels that are drying. Nobody care? Nobody's gonna care? Okay, good. I can do it, it's fine.
Would care. 16, 17.
I can't believe the check-ins are this week. The live is on Saturday. What am I gonna work on next month?
Oh no. Oh no, don't do that. Don't do that.
I gotta start thinking about what I want to propose as what do I craft on for the craft off? Because the craft off
no idea.
happens on Saturday. Neither do I. Though I'm excited. I get to show everybody progress on shorts. Or if I've done shorts. I also get to show everybody progress or non-progress on the spring mesh pullover on Wednesday too, so I like it when the deadline for the secret crafting comes, because then I can show people what I've been working on. He's so good. Except not the MCal stuff. Guys, it's not the fun part of the MCal. I'm doing swatches. Swatching. It's not enjoyable. I have so many random swatches of lip and pattern testing. It's crazy.
Ding.
Okay. Care about your stupid timer? I'm gonna keep working. You can't
Well,
stop
I'm
me.
using it as a timer to stretch and snack
Okay.
and hydrate.
I will stretch my back out by sitting
Short
up.
break. Also says this can be a fun weekend. Yes, it's gonna be a good weekend.
Gotta be something. Gotta be something. So nobody cares if I have stuff hanging in the background and drying. Excellent. I will do towels today.
Oh, snack time. Mm-hmm.
Maybe. I might get lazy and just tidy the kitchen and craft all afternoon and all evening. Okay, now if I lean back. Ooh, I'm not feeling too much of a pinch. The preemptive back care is working. Yes. Yes.
Not the weekend to ask for gaming then. No, this is not a good weekend for
No.
gaming.
No, it's not going to happen this weekend.
Later in the week, maybe.
Thursday?
I'll do Thursday.
I say
Let me
Thursday
just double
because
check. I'm not lying.
I have
Next
checking
Thursday.
with
Yeah, that's fine.
I check in with Louise this Wednesday, so I will be stressing until Wednesday, but after Wednesday I won't be stressing anymore. So Thursday midday
Yep,
works
sounds
perfect
good.
for me. Because then I can be stressing about what photos I should be posting for the craft off. I have to have a decision by Wednesday to take photos to post for Thursdays, so Wednesday is the big day this week. Gotta figure out.
Crafty Chemist says time to trim ends. Just finished, washed, and dried a blanket during the sprints. Nice.
Good.
Progress.
It's all progress. It all adds up, which is the great part. I think it's why these WIP sprints go over so well, because it's just progress. But you're not alone doing it. Like, we have company while we're doing this stuff. It just makes it more enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. Don't sit on the pointy stitch marker.
Ooh,
That is
there's a
not a good
new
thing to do.
Changeling book out this month. Well, actually, end of August.
Aren't there
So I
like
could
30 books in
use.
that series?
Yeah, there's a lot. And I've read them all more than once this year.
I think I got to like 4 or 5 or something. They're good. It was just a lot. Needed a break.
Well, I have my favorites that I go back and I read all the time, and there's ones I've only ever read once, and I was like, that was good, and it was fine, but it's not I'm not interested in doing it again. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
But there's somewhere like I was listening to one this morning, Visions of Heat, because I happen to like it. It's number 2.
The blanket that has been. Oh,
Oh,
sorry. Go
finish
ahead.
the blanket. Do
The
blanket
blanket that got finished. It may have been started in last March, like 2022. I have older whips than that, so don't even worry about it.
Yeah, you're good. I have older whips than that.
What is my current oldest whip?
Maybe that's what
Contours
I should do.
Mids, probably.
Yes. Yes, your contours mitts I think is your oldest one right now. I should post 2 blanket options and force myself to work on blankets next month.
Ooh, you could do that. I'm taking suggestions. I need to get back to finishing things out of my whip bin.
Yes.
So if anybody happens to remember what's in my whip bin, because I'm sure people know.
Listen,
Actually,
the
we did
temptation.
those whip things at the end of the year.
Yeah,
We went through all of our whips.
we did. And
So
you
if
would have made
anybody
show
either
notes.
remembers or wants to go back and consult those videos and tell me what I should work on.
Are you looking for an FO or progress?
Either one. Also says King's Flame. I
That should be
mean,
an
yeah,
FO.
honestly, I should.
Yeah, because you're done your buttons. So you're
I know.
done. You done
I
the
know, I
hard
think I'm
part.
like onto the easy lace section.
Yes, you are. That should be an FO or the contours mitts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like those are both good options. Short break done. Time for WIP Sprint the. Is this 5? Or was the
I
last one
don't know.
5? The last one. I don't remember. I lost count. I was doing
I
so
don't
well
know.
keeping track in my head, but this is the part where I forget.
Heck, how are we doing? Is this our last one? Do we want to do one more after this?
We're sitting at 2 hours 40 for the stream. I don't know. One more will take us to. It'll be not quite 4:15 for me.
We started at 1.
My time, yeah. So that's
So yeah, that'd be
yeah.
fine.
We'll be just over 3 hours with one more
Yours?
sprint.
Yep. That'll be fine. Let's do that.
All right. We shall do one more sprint then, wherein I will finish splitting for sleeves and actually start on the body.
I am going to finally pick up the jelly roll this sprint.
All right. Sprint the last. Here we go. Hack, wheeze, choke. My snack
So we
is
spend the first
disagreeing with my throat.
30 minutes doing the 2 granny squares. 40 minutes doing the 2 granny squares. Then I can work on the jelly roll. So I have like 40 minutes of work before I start a jelly roll section. Put that into context. It's not an insignificant amount of work.
No.
What do we want for dinner tonight? I don't know.
4, 5, 6, 7.
I have cucumbers.
10, 11.
I made bread.
13.
Maybe I'll just toast some bread slices and have it with some sort of
I totally
sandwich
meant to start
spread.
an overnight bread last night and I didn't.
I just made I'm still working on the soda bread, so I just made some soda bread. Because I'm getting better at it, so I'd like to get to the point where my soda bread's like my bannock, where I can just make it. I don't think about it. It's not a hard concentrate quick bread. It is actually a quick bread. Mm. But if I take 2 of those slices, toast them, and then I could do like make a spicy lentil sandwich spread. That'd be tasty. I'd have that with some cut veggies for dinner. I think that'd be good. Cucumber and carrots, guys. Cucumber and carrots. I bought some cucumbers and I bought some funny colored carrots.
Oh, like the fun purple ones?
Yeah. I just like eat them.
I like those ones, except that they tried to dye my cutting board purple.
Well, there's that. But I cut beets regularly, and beets also like to try to dye my cutting board, only red, not purple.
Yeah.
So, ooh, I have
That's part of the
beets.
reason I don't like beets.
Change plans. Toast the bread with some garlic butter. And then layered sliced beet, carrot, and cucumber for like a rainbowy sandwich.
That sounds fun. 10,
Do that for dinner.
12, 13, 14, 15, 16, right? 20, 40, 60, 64, 66, 68.
Crocheting tiny granny squares. loops is
Okay, 76
only
stitches on a holder.
satisfying when you're
Holder here
finished.
being other needle.
This is one of those ones where I don't think I'm going to enjoy the progress as much as I'm going to enjoy the finished product.
Mm. This one's all about the finish, not the process.
This is a very small hook.
Ow. I just stabbed myself with my stitch holder. Here being
Well, I'm
needles.
not.
And this is why.
Yeah, be careful.
Yeah. Okay, now what are we doing?
76 stitches onto your holder.
No, I just did that. I'm casting on 6
10,
underarm stitches
8, ooh,
using
6.
backward loop cast on.
I think it's because when I pull out the dark colored fingering weight yarn is when I'm going to probably grumble about it. Not so much when I'm doing the lighter color or the variegated, highly variegated light colors. But I love rich dark tone colors. They're just not the easiest to crochet in on a fingering weight. You know?
And now we
Uh-oh.
get a new beginning of round marker. I need a better beginning of round marker.
Oh, I crocheted too many rounds. Actually, back to the table.
My beginning of round marker is going to become one of my rainbow mail parts things.
Okay.
Because it's completely different from all the other things that I'm using on this project, therefore it will be recognizable as the new beginning of round marker.
Yes, yes, it will. Come here.
Also, it'll
Yeah,
make me giggle, which is important.
it is.
Now cast on an additional 6 backward loop stitches.
I had too many rows.
Too many rows. Well, that's no good. Don't have too many.
So I'm ripping back, which is fine. I'm obviously not going to rip back to the start of row 5. That'd be silly. We're just going to rip back to a corner that I could use. I'm just going to pull one more stitch out.
Okay, there's my 12
Then I'll
underarm
connect
stitches.
it out. 6 on each side would be 12, yes.
Now I need to knit 116.
Okay.
We love knitting 116.
Whoopsies. Whoopsie daisies. Sure would help if you kept your live loop on your hook. You will find that it's far easier to work a project. You don't drop your stitch.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
13. 14. 15.
I think it's mostly that I want fingering weight blankets because they're nice and light. They have amazing drape and stuff, but I also don't necessarily want to do the volume of work involved for fingering weight blanket because I know how fast a worsted weight blanket is. It's
Yeah.
hard to commit to the fingering weight ones. But the fingering weight ones just they're so pretty. They're just so pretty. It's the same with like fingering weight tops and stuff. Like there's just something about the drape and the versatility of a fingering weight top and sweater that cannot be beat by the heavier weight. And it's so difficult because the heavier weight works up so fast. Works up so fast.
Yeah.
Well, there's not really that many stitches difference between like a sport weight or a DK weight and a fingering weight. There's not that many stitch difference. But it feels like there is. And it's not like you don't grumble. Like a sport weight shoulder round in a sweater still takes forever.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
So really, what's the difference? Not that much at the end. Yeah, it's got to be blankets or sweaters, I think. One of those two has got to be the choices for the month. There we go.
I like
I finally
the
finished.
King's Flame and Contours mitts idea. So I feel like
There we go. Oh,
either one could get close to a finish.
Why? Why?
Oh no, did you miss a stitch?
Because I dropped the stitch and I didn't pick it up properly. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm gonna deal with this tomorrow. There's now content.
6.
Content. I'm putting it away because I don't want to do it. I want to get started on the jelly roll. I want to connect it to the jelly roll. I'd like to start knitting on the jelly roll. That is what I'm going to do. I even put a stitch marker in so I can tell how much I've done. Just need to connect it. I swear.
Alright, that's about half the stitches. We're getting there. This cord might actually be like the perfect length by the time I split out the sleeves.
Drop one end, which you will weave in when you come back.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Where's the other end? There it is.
14, 15.
Let's see what I want. Where the end I am doing as I go. I finally picked up the jelly roll. Holy Hannah Batman, that took too long. Maybe keep to my plans for this evening. And my treat can be tomorrow morning. I can do some hand sewing. That'd be nice. Start a skirt project, hand sew another skirt. Or finish the one that I started. No, that's hemming. I don't want a hem stitch. Oh, I don't want a hem stitch. I want some nice back stitch nobody's gonna see. That's what I want to do. Nobody sees a good running back stitch. If you don't do your hem stitches properly, those are visible. Only for crazy people who get really close to the hems of skirts, but still.
I'm pretty sure only people that are going to be snobby about it are going to care.
It's true. And I really shouldn't care what their opinions are. What's that
Or like
super
if they
cliche
want to get
saying?
really close so they can compliment you on your work.
Those who mind don't matter, and those that matter don't mind. Ha ha ha! How's that for pulling things out of my memory?
What is that from?
Don't know. Don't even know who quoted it at me the first time, but it makes so much sense. It's been floating around in my brain pan since high school, I suspect. Given how long it just took me to pull that out of the archives. It's not, it was way back in there. But if I think about it really hard, I can still sing songs from Girl Guides. So, sorry, guys.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.
I re-listened to The Martian last week. Such a good book.
Yeah, it's a good
Such a
one.
good book.
I'm debating starting a complete reread of the Expanse series because I still haven't finished the last book. And I don't remember what's going on in the universe at this point, so I
Yeah.
think I might just need a whole series reread.
I would totally join you for a series reread. I love that series. I've already read it a couple of times, but I'll reread. I will reread it with you.
I have a few library holds that'll be coming up in the next few weeks, so I need to finish those first. Because I've got like 6 library books that I'm like half finished.
Oh my god.
So I really need to finish some of those. Then I can do a full series reread.
I keep thinking I should go back to the I've got the whole group of the initial books for the it's a oh heavens, it's a fantasy series. Darker Shades of Magic is the first one.
That
And I
is one of the
really
ones that I
liked
got
it.
part of the way through.
Yeah.
I like the
It's
magic
a
system.
really I
It's
like the magic
cool.
system, I like the world building, I like the mash of contemporary us versus contemporary not us. Like it's very enjoyable. I should re-listen to that whole series because I haven't.
18, 19, 20. Crafty Chemist says Project Hail Mary is really good too. Yes. I read that one last year, I think. Also very,
Yes.
very good. Where's that Artemis that I read? I'm pretty sure it was Hail Mary.
Ooh, nothing says joyful like schmuck in the microphone.
Liz says the Those That Matter quote is by Bernard Baruch? Baruch.
I have no idea who it's by. I've just heard it. It just makes a lot of sense. But it's the
Those
same
that
with a lot
matter
of
don't mind, and
proverbs and
those that
things.
mind don't matter.
Don't matter.
Yes. True enough. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14.
What are those ones that I should
15,
put that
16,
on
17,
a cross stitch pattern that I like and make it?
I
Or
was just having
embroidery
that same
pattern.
thought. Oh, I should probably count how many stitch markers I've done, hey? Okay. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100.
And you needed 116?
120. God damn it. Okay.
I was
It's fine.
close.
It's fine.
I'm going off memory and the few mumbled words that I hear as you read the pattern. Not doing too
It's
bad with
fine.
these
It's fine. I just
instructions,
did like
guys.
40 more stitches than I needed to. It's
Oh
fine.
no.
20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Okay. 2, 4,
I am
6, 8,
happily
12, 14, 16.
finally working on the jelly roll. Blankets or sweaters, guys? What should I work on next month for my craft off? Blankets or sweaters? Let's be honest, it's not going to be cold enough in September to wear a sweater or a blanket, so it's fine.
like this. I can't. No, I have to unknit that. Ah, oh, God. Grr.
Oh, well, what are you?
I have to tink that. That's annoying.
So when Mom was in town, she likes listening to um, Golden Oldies FM radio app.
Hmm.
So I put it on my phone. Not how young things have to be considered an oldie.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, golden oldies, is that starting to get into, like, the 2000s?
Well, you're vintage if you're older than 40 years old. So everything from 1983 backwards is vintage. I was born in 83. It's slightly problematic for my brain to contemplate, but
How does it feel being vintage?
it feels good. I'm falling apart for no particular reason, but I'm told that's just the age I've reached, which, fair. Fair.
Oh, sorry,
Not
Tracy, I
shocked or
was not paying attention
surprised.
to chat. Put up one of each for voting. Was that blankets and sweaters? I'm pretty sure that was
What do
blankets
I
and
craft?
sweaters.
What do I work on my craft off this month? Do I work on a blanket or a sweater? No specifics, just blankets or sweaters. What section should I? I could do that. I could post on Monday and go, it's not a new start Monday, but do I work? What craft off option would you like to see for voting? Vote to vote. Vote to vote.
Vote to vote. Ooh. Is that like likes for likes? Vote to vote.
Yeah, vote to vote. Now I just need to decide if I want to do sweaters or if I want to do blankets. I like the idea of blankets and getting some progress done.
Ooh. Also suggesting anything that could be for Stash Dash.
Well, August is Stash Dash wraps up in August, and since we won't talk about it till September, that wouldn't work. Because like there's some projects that I have that are sitting around that need a couple of hours, or like some of them need like 20 or 30 hours. And then they're done. So they need like a week of concentrated work and they're finished. And I'm at the point with the MCAL where I have to put it down and walk away for a week or two and let things just like bump around in the back of my head aimlessly like a pinball machine for a while before I'm ready to pick them up and do stuff with. So I'm going to yes, that's how that works. I come up with an idea and then it pinballs around in my head for a while, and then I write stuff out and then it pinballs in my head for a while. Like I have to take those breaks. I understand that about myself. So I know I've got a couple projects that I'll be working on the next week or two while the pinballing occurs. That will count for Stash Dash. But I need to bear in mind that I don't think I have anything that I could conceivably commit to having a finish of by the end of August to count towards Stash Dash. Like the cotton worsted weight blanket could conceivably be a finish, but I don't know if I could do that as secret knitting. Does that make sense? Like it would
Hmm.
eat enough time that it would have to be something I could talk about. So if I don't put the blankets on, but I put like progress on sweaters or something, but I work on the cotton worsted weight blanket next month, I could push to get it finished because then it also can be talked about as content on the podcast at the same time because it's not secret, it's not background work that I have to keep from you guys till a set period of time has passed. Same with like the quilt blanket. I can't finish it. It needs 2 months of work still. But I could make progress on it in the background happily. Noting that it eats Stash Dash crafting time. All secret crafting does. The crafting projects from this month obviously will count if they're finishes, simply because I will have got them finished before the end of Stash Dash. If they're not finishes, they should be on my work on first list for next month
There was
so
also a
that they can be
suggestion
finishes.
for socks.
The yes, socks. Oh, socks. I think it's because I know the sweet romance socks don't fit me. It's not helping. It's not helping with my I don't want to work on it. And I'm missing two at a time. I miss two at a time socks. It's so bad. So bad.
Can always frog the sweet romance socks and do them two at a time.
No, I'm not. I'm not going back. I'm not going back. I'm not doing it again. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I can't. If I rip that sweet romance sock, it's becoming something else. It will not be socks. And I'm still heavily tempted to rip the socks out entirely and make something else out of them. Because I love that colorway. It's just dragging on me that I can't wear them when I'm finished with them.
Elizabeth Pierre's in chat. Hello. Caught us near the
Hello.
end of our last WIP sprint.
Yeah.
We're doing focused work on projects for 25 minutes at a time. 2, 4, 6.
Well, it's a heck of a thing. If I rip the socks,
18, 20.
I could just start a pair of 2 at a time tone-up socks like I want.
Or 22.
Not necessarily
4,
a bad
6,
thing.
8, 10.
It's not putting ideas in my head, people. It's really not hard. It's really not hard.
But that's what they're here for.
I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna rip the romance socks. Let's do romance socks and start new socks.
8, 10, 12, 14.
Which means splitting a ball of sock yarn into 2 smaller balls so I can do 2 at a time. I'm awake. I'm not awake. I don't have coffee. There's no caffeine in this house.
Ding,
It is
that
not
was our
cool.
last sprint. Uh-oh. Well,
Was
I'm
it?
going to finish this round anyway.
Okay.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. How did everybody do? Did you get stuff done? Things accomplished? Progress made? That annoying thing finally out of the way that's been preventing progress on the thing? Whatever it may be.
Look, I actually got some jelly roll work done. It only took 3 sprints. It's because one was entirely consumed by cat.
20, 40, 60. Okay, I just need 16 more stitches.
I've got a fair amount. I think after I'm done. Quick, how tall is my bed? It is a queen size bed, so it will be 76 inches long, 80 inches wide. Because a king size is 80 by 80. I can math. So half of 76 is something I need to calculate for. This is not half of 76.
Okay.
I'm not close to a row. First strip's going to take me the longest.
I finished all the ends, so I reached my goal. Yay!
Oh, good.
I'm carrying on until I finish this row, so I'm just casting on my second underarm stitches, and I gotta knit another 50-something stitches. And then I'm done this row, and I've split for sleeves.
Beautiful. That's really good. Yeah, I think it should be a blanket month. I think jelly roll. No, sweater month? Oh, man. I'll do 1 blanket and 1 sweater. Let's just make it super complicated. Can't decide. What am I working on, people?
6,
Supposed to be here to help
7,
make decisions for me.
8. Taking bets on whether I've finished my halter top for this month.
Nope.
I was going to do an entire halter top.
Nope. You got distracted. I love you, but you got distracted.
I mismanaged my crafting time. 2, 4, 6, 8,
I know you very well.
10, 12.
We are friends.
One too many.
We are friends.
Have you been doing this a long time?
Been doing this a long time. Jocelyn knows you.
6.
The answer to the question is no. Can I do this? Nope. Oh my god. Okay, there, it's fine. It's good. Because if I do sweaters, I could put up the Nordic Nights, the Nightshade Society sweater. I just say progress on both.
Yeah.
See the temptation? See the temptation.
Hee hee, I'm gonna have stegos on my shoulders.
And in theory, I'll wear fingering weight sweaters sooner than I'll need heavy blankets, right?
Knit back to beginning of round marker. Okay, just gotta knit around.
Because
Been
that
knitting
heat
around.
will definitely be turned on well before I need it in the building. Yeah,
Elizabeth
I
says
think
I've got my
sweaters.
yarn winder out. I have a bunch of floppy skeins that need to be made functional. It's not my favorite task. That's
No,
fair.
no. I don't think it's anybody's
Liz
favorite
says, I just
task.
messed up my stitches. Grr, but I will finish the sock. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Have a good
Uh,
weekend. I'm sorry your stitches got mushed. I'm ripping the socks. Talked me into it. It obviously I did not enjoy that pad project because it did not take much to talk me into it.
yeah, I mean, that was. I think you talked yourself into it.
I just did. Something else. I'm gonna do something else with that
I
yarn.
believe
I
I
like that.
presented it as an option and then you talked yourself into it.
Yes. That's usually how this works, isn't it?
I frequently, yeah.
Okay. Well, Diana's finishing her row.
I guess keep an eye on Instagram. I might be doing more of these later on over on Instagram.
It's entirely feasible today.
I want to take a break and do some laundry and like eat real food that isn't just snacks. Um,
Not gonna lie, this is my second cup of this. The first one was water, and this one's ginger ale. I need a bathroom break.
all right, well let's wrap this up then because I got like 20 stitches left. So, but oh look at this! Oh, I've split out some sleeve sections.
Oh,
Can't
you
really tell over
beautiful.
that. But I've split out some sleeve sections. You can see some
Yes.
stegosauruses. This yoke is gorgeous.
Oh, I agree.
Isn't
I
it
agree. It's
beautiful?
so
Oh,
pretty. My cat bit my forehead.
sorry,
I
did you say
annoyed
your
her.
cat bit your forehead?
When I was holding her, I annoyed her so I could put her down and she wouldn't jump right back up. So I headbutted her. She don't like being headbutted. But guess what, guys? She left me alone afterwards.
She just made sure you paid for it?
Yeah, pretty much. It's fine. I
Yeah,
don't care.
fair.
It's fine. I can live with that.
I just realized it's
I
not the
can
beginning of
live
round
with
marker
that.
anymore. Okay, it's more to knit than I thought, but anyway. Okay. Alright, let's wrap up this stream.
Guys, we'll catch you later.
Okay, I'm gonna hit the button. Okay, bye everybody.